Hello and welcome to another Mystic Frequency Tarot reading. This is Lisa, and this tarot reading, we're going to look at what 2026 has for you. What does 2026 have in store? We're going to look at your crystal icebreaker with the year affirmation for the year. And then we're going to look at the Taroscope theme with key month focuses throughout the year. You may only have a month or 3 months that may need a lot more attention than the other months throughout the year. We're going to look at the relationships and the career or job or what it is you are working towards this year. We're going to look at our spirit guides or our spirit guide that is working with your purpose throughout this year, and their advice with a self-care affirmation that would benefit you. Then we'll dive into your word scrabble and your charms, and then each reading will have a debrief section. You do not have to listen to it after you go through your entire pile. It is just there for those who would just like a quick snapshot, that don't have the time in the moment to really watch the lengthy reading, but also so that way they can determine if this pile is really meant for them as well. And that's one of the greatest benefits of that last little bit of each pile gives us. So 2026, it's a major global year reset. When you take 2026 and you reduce it, it becomes the universal year 1 in numerology. So think of new beginnings. It's this chance for a blank slate. It's where you have these opportunities to become a leader, where you are taking initiative. So the previous year, you may not have had that energy or that focus or that mindset since we completed out a year 9 in numerology, whereas this year, you're given this opportunity to do so. You're going to find a lot more independence and a lot more fresh cycles. You may be coming out of a cycle and accomplishing more now because you are in a better state of mind. So what is this going to be talking about? This is talking about taking bold steps. It's where you're a pioneer. It's planting seeds for the future, and it's aligning themes of unity, action, personal discovery, and experimentation. You're going to do a lot of experimenting with this year. You're going to pick up a lot of things and determine whether or not that is something you want to put your focus into, or if it didn't work out for you, then you're going to just set it aside and keep trying new things. Whatever your numerology life path is, with year 1, you are really amplifying it. So an example would be like with me, my life path is a 6. So this is going to create a very dynamic year focused on my family, responsibility, and harmony, where I'm nurturing things that make me feel significant, especially around new developments like making my marriage more stronger, or even looking towards a home, which we are currently. We're trying to find a place where we can put our roots down. Renting and seeing your money go nowhere for the long term can be very depressing. So when I seen 2026 and I was doing some research on it, and I was like, that does make sense, because, this year we're going to be building towards something. And the relationships with my life path will take on a deeper meaning, because I'm very, very big in particular with taking care of my family and their needs. So let's go ahead and do some quick benevolent intentions and deep breathing before we select our piles. And always remember, your future, what you are trying to obtain, what you are trying to build, determines on what you are doing currently. And if you expect a reading is going to give that to you without the work, you will become very, very depressed, because nothing is set in stone. It's through action that we achieve the results that we want. And it's also through having those loose expectations. When something falls through, how do you get back up? How do you reassess? How do you go about it in a different direction? So let's go ahead and do these benevolent intentions and only take what resonates through this video. So benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, divine creator, and the highest good versions of ourselves we can become, please guide those to choose and receive messages tailored to them while leaving what doesn't for another to find, and bring insight into the year that is before us. We really want to know what we can do to better ourselves. So let's go ahead and do 3 deep breaths. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. I lost count. So maybe if there's someone in here that finds themselves losing track, and my mind is all over the place today. I did a little bit of self-care, and I just really wanted to get into the zone of this reading because this year is an opportunity to make a better version of yourself than you've ever thought. So I'm sorry if I didn't count the breaths, but let's go ahead, and if you are ready to select your pile or piles, which you may have multiple messages or multiple piles that have called to you. There's no shame in that. Or even as you receive the message you have, then you go down your road and this video pops up again, or you start thinking about this video again. Maybe that's a sign to check in and see what else should I be paying attention to. Because regardless of where you are at in the year of 2026, if this video pops up, your spirit guides want you to kind of pay attention to something, or even reflect on a month, even if it has passed. Reflect and determine, what could I have done differently, and how can that change my perspective? But let's go ahead and dive into either pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. I will see y'all in just a second. Hi, pile 1. All right, let's go ahead and get into your crystal icebreaker for the year, plus your affirmation. And I love that you chose this card because it is beautiful. And it almost kind of like looks like my nails. So I love purple and blue. All right, so this is Cat's Eye. Agility, intuition, protection. Evoking the bright eyes of a cat. Cat's Eye is used as a talisman to ward off and protect against any evil or unforeseen danger coming your way. It increases agility, allowing you to fly beneath the radar of your enemies and progress ahead of your competitors. Cat's Eye enhances night vision, giving you the ability to see through the shadows in higher definition and access heightened levels of intuition by opening up the crown chakra. Cat's Eye is regenerative, helping you to regain what was once lost. Go ahead and put that over here. And then for your affirmation, I am positive. If you have been practicing not revealing what you are working on or trying to achieve while under the radar to prevent someone's words from being a block, it's working. By the time you see this reading and you've been more careful about how you reveal what it is that you're working towards, you are safely enveloping yourself with this protective sphere, and you're not allowing someone's opinion to come through because you're very positive about what it is you're doing. You know that this is the right thing to be working on. This is the right move for you to be doing. And you are just feeling very bubbly about it. So you already have an idea. You already know what you want to obtain and what you want to work towards. And the current mental state you put yourself in will determine your success. And I honestly feel like you're not matching lower vibrational energy this year, and you were refusing to participate in light dimming parties. This year is teaching you the benefits of protecting your own personal endeavors with the only competitor being yourself. You set the bar and understand weaknesses are areas of growth. And by matching your personal plan yourself, everyone else gets left in the dust. What matters is what you think and feel in the moment by trusting your intuition and seeing others' BS more clearly. You were very blessed with avoiding multiple tower moments this year and obstacles that other people are trying to put on you. You're not going to entertain those individuals. This year, you are only entertaining what you put in front of you, what you want to work on, not what someone else wants you to work on. And I love that for you. And I really do feel like you're someone that is very headstrong, and you can call it like it as you see it. You can call it like you see it. And even when things get really bad for you, you always try to stay positive about the situation. You always try to see the best. Well, this is helping me for my benefit. This is going to allow me to be even more strong by going through this. And that is hardcore. Someone that can face a hurricane and still be calm, because you know that at the center of your world, you are still calm, that you're going to get through this. So let's go ahead and look at the theme for this month. And I love this for you. The Six of Cups. You're going to feel very nostalgic too. By being positive, you are looking at the positive things that have occurred in your life that have emotionally fulfilled you. And nostalgia really is a beautiful emotion. It connects us to the past in a very positive way. It's allowing us to repurpose memories of people, places, activities, or things you miss, and calibrating those memories to be useful, valuable, and joyful in the present. It's a second chance on the table. And an example of this, so you can understand how that nostalgia will work. My uncle used to take us on these Dollar Tree trips daily when we were kids. And then he would take us to the park. And as a mother and an aunt, I look back on those memories and I feel called to repeat those same instances that my uncle did, to go on random walks and to make family and funny memories, because we had a lot of funny memories that occurred whenever we were with my uncle. And I always asked the why behind the healthy emotional connecting habits that he created. And he was a very quiet uncle. And the only way he interacted with us was not through communication, but through experience. And the experiences that you have had in your past that make you feel warm, that make you feel emotionally happy, you are being encouraged that anything that gave you a positive experience in your life, recreate that memory. Oftentimes, you see these family members that recreate photos that were really funny. Maybe you may feel a pull to recreate a funny memory or a situation or someone that you haven't talked to in a long time. You are feeling this urge to reach out and talk to them and reminisce, to pour over everything that happened, the happy times, the times where you maybe laughed so much you peed yourself, that kind of situation. Number 6, this is a family person. This is a parent. This is a carer, the healer, the protector. This is being immersed in creating and growing your family, your closest friendships, and your love connections. It's focusing on what makes your love grow more, what makes your love more positive. And that is the biggest theme that you have this year. The star signs that can really help you, these could be individuals or the relationships around you that exhibit this, are Pisces. And Pisces type energy, they're going to help you avoid escapism, avoiding not going out of your bubble and experiencing things, and not only focusing on the things that were dark. Pisces is going to want you to really be more creative and take that inner child that was with you in the past and bring it into the present without that child being stuck or shaken up. If that, my camera shaked whenever I was going over here. If you have a lot of shaky memories, I'm encouraging you to find the positive ones right now. Find the positive ones and recreate them. The more positive memories you create this year, the more fulfilling this year is going to feel for you. And Cancer, with it also being a water sign, Cancers, they help you creatively nurture yourself while creating a healthy shell around you that is protective, like with your cat's eye. And they're not going to allow that energy come in and prevent you from having the best possible experience that you can have this year. And then you'll also have Scorpio type energy as well, where you're going to be like this emotional sponge, soaking up all of these memories and all of the future ones you're going to be creating, and not allowing them to sting you or hurt you. So the memories I'm talking about is when you are with someone and they just do something out of character. Do you let what they did have a hold on you and you just can't stop thinking about it and all you can think about is how you can get back at them? Well, the Scorpio energies that are going to be coming around you is going to teach you how to let that resentment go so you don't feel like you need to control or manipulate the situation. They're going to show you how to be more positive and see how everyone has their bad days. And if this individual keeps doing the same thing over and over again, then you will know that you need to separate yourself from that energy, let that energy go, send it back to the sender, and just really focus on yourself and focus on what you want to create this year. The months that will be very key for this year is March, July, and November. So you've got some time to start doing the work that you need to be doing right now. And then those 3 months will be very significant to you. Think of in July, you're thinking of 4th of July or whatever holiday you celebrate in the summertime. You may not have summertime where you are, wherever you receive this reading. But those months, whatever holidays, whatever feeling they give you, how can you make the most? Because you're going to want to amplify this energy. Any memory you have around that time, amplify it. By noticing the relationships that are close to you, that are open, that help you open up, or even the relationships that help you, or not help you, but they close you off, this crystal icebreaker, this theme is going to help activate and help you discern who you need to be surrounding yourself with. And I love that you got the 6 of Cups. That's a really good energy to have. Let's go ahead and look at the relationships that are going to be around you and what kind of insight that you need to be aware of. All right, we have the 8 of Wands. Think of movement, fast-paced change, action, alignment, even air travel. Like this card, when it concerns relationships, there's a relationship that is moving really, really fast, faster than you anticipated happening this year. There's these new possibilities and opportunities that arrive unexpectedly. And in order to, like when I say this energy is moving in, I mean it's moving in fast. And you have to be in the right state of mind in order to grab that wand. And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have confidence when you want the relationships to work out in this year. Any relationships you've been patiently working on or towards, be ready to catch them. This card plus cat's eye proves how protected and cared for by your spirit guides you are. They will not let you be in a negative, low energy with this potential relationship. And they're not going to let negative, less purposed creatures near your aura. They're not going to let someone who is not supposed to be around you at all. You're going to be reflecting negative energy back, because look at that shine, that reflection. You are only going to be taking what matches your energy. If you are single, if you felt as if you couldn't obtain certain people's eyes, or that a potential partner you've been trying to date wouldn't give you the time, there's a reason. At that time, your frequency did not match theirs, and it would have been very catastrophic if y'all had actually put the relationship in stone. By focusing on your own endeavors and goals, you unlocked a floodgate of pursuance, even ones you used to pine over. You only want what's meant for you, and understand the importance of spreading your own wings to flourish. So this is someone, I'm thinking previous year, coming into this year. If you were single, maybe you fought really hard, you were chasing after another individual. And by understanding, fighting for something that obviously isn't meant for you, it may have put you in a state of mind where, all right, then I'm going to work on myself and keep working on myself. And if this person only decides to look at me when I do what is best for me, then I know that that person wasn't even meant to be in my sphere. So I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to be more positive, and I'm going to have more self-discipline. And I'm going to trust my guides, and my guides are only going to allow whoever matches my energy to come in here. And it is that person who is doing the exact same thing that I am meant to be, because you understand what a closed door is. And you're not going to flaunt yourself anymore. You're going to go out. Maybe you used to always dress up a certain way, and you were always dressed to the nine. You were a doll. You were gorgeous, beautiful, 24/7, but that put a lot of energy on you. It required you to have to get up early. It required you to have to put more effort into what it is you're wearing. And now you have no fear whatsoever to step out in your PJs. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel comfortable. You know how to look good when you want to, and before you were looking good for someone else. This year, you're looking good for yourself only, and you're dressing how you want to feel comfortable. And that attracts people. When they see all versions of you out on the table, that's what brings these pursuers in, because maybe by you showing this beautiful carrot, this gold, this thing that was, these people were probably too scared to even try to step towards you because they didn't feel like they were worthy enough. But by seeing you be in your most comfortable state, they see that they don't have to constantly change themselves in order to be in this relationship. They don't feel guarded, if that makes sense. So if you're in a relationship this year, if you are already in a relationship, this is going to talk about progressing that relationship faster than expected. Maybe this is like, if you are not married, this year will be the year where you have that opportunity. Everything is lining up for you. Everything just feels emotionally fulfilled. And this is making me think maybe your childhood sweetheart is coming through now that they've done their work and you've done your work. And that childhood sweetheart came in, and now y'all just want to take it to the next level. Y'all want to set things in stone. Everything is finally working the way it's supposed to. And maybe if this isn't a childhood sweetheart, if you were just in this relationship, you are both working on knocking out obstacles and tasks together. And by working together and communicating what it is that you wish to obtain, you're traveling towards what is in alignment for both. And you don't mind putting focus and determination in it. You don't mind taking your time. And your spirit guides are saying, by you both working together and not headbutting or allowing any kind of resentment to come in, or allowing these setbacks to put you in a negative state of mind or a state of lack, homes are coming. You're going to be able to maybe get that forever home, maybe get that wedding ring where you say I do, or even just anything that you work on together this year, whatever it is. That's how you're going to make it happen faster. Whether it be through significant changes, but think of 8. 8 is about doing the work. It's mastering something. And your relationship has reached a point where now, when you look back on it, you realize y'all really have created a lot of good memories with those around you that have lifted you up. And you want to go ahead and create even more memories like that because y'all sync up just right. And I love that. Pile 1, I love the energy that y'all are going to be expressing this year, because you are the accomplishers and you are the doers. And honestly, y'all seem like people that I would want to be around, if I'm being honest. Let's look at the career and the insights that you have before we jump into the spirit guide working with you this year. Now, before you see this, if you are a tarot reader or if you are somebody that understands the Three of Swords, I don't want you to see this and think, oh no, everything has been ruined. That is not what this is about, because you are very protected. You have a lot of positive energy, and you are not entertaining things that are not meant for you. So 3 of Wands, or 3 of Wands. You may be traveling if I'm thinking about the 3 of Wands, because I did get a lot of feeling of going somewhere with this relationship. Maybe what isn't working for you currently, you realize you need to make a change, and now you're having to go, and you're trying to find your calling, and that may be why I thought of 3 of Wands. But the 3 of Swords, this is going to be one of the big changes this year, and this is something you can overcome. These 8 of Wands, the 3 of Swords, the 6 of Cups, these are day-to-day things that you can change for the better, as long as you are willing to put in that work. The 3 of Swords is the job you've been working at really needs to be evaluated, especially if it makes you really sad, or if you work with people who are constantly betraying the atmosphere, the work ethic, who look for opportunities to not take ownership over their mistakes. This also talks about these individuals who take the work you created as their own and reap the benefits. And I hate that if you are working in a work environment and all the work that you put in gets taken from you and claimed as someone else's, that is such a stab wound that Scorpio coming in as a person is going to show you how to really effectively navigate around these type of individuals. You will be encouraged to ask more about projects and area assignments, how the rewards are divided up, and what should happen if your coworker fails to meet their quota or part of the deal. If you feel like your voice doesn't have a say and communication is one-sided at this job, or two are communicating or not communicating, they're communicating with themselves, but not you, and they're really playing against the one. So see this is making me think you're at the center of it. You are at the center of the drama at work. And you are not trying to put yourself here, but these two individuals or these groups that you are around are intentionally keeping you stuck here. And it's not a good feeling to have. You keep getting paired up with these people. You keep having to work with these people. And they're not pulling their weight. And by you doing you and staying positive and going out of your way to bust your A, that makes them jealous because they have to work 10 times harder than you do. But you have always been the person that has had to pick up a lot more because you were picking up the slack of others. At this career, if you are facing these types of people, if your voice really doesn't have a say, you're going to be encouraged to maybe reach out to your HR department or whoever your health, human resources individual is and reveal what is going on. So that way you may either work in a different department, a different area of the company, or even by bringing this to light, these people need to be removed because they are not benefiting the company at all. I'm also getting this fear of who do these people know? How is it that they are able to get away with what they're doing? And it's almost like there's these hidden benefits that are being given for a closed eye. And if that is the case, if you're scared to go to your HR or whoever your hiring manager is, and you're scared that they're close with these people, that's not good for the company or anyone. And if you have to go up the ladder, even if it's over their heads, and if you have to keep going, you are encouraged to keep doing it. Or if there is a manager or a boss that is illegally allowing people to get side benefits if they perform certain tasks, it's up to you to put that heart in, to put that sword in and stop it. Because you want to build something that is lasting. And if you feel like the career you are working at is not going to last with these people, you can do something about it. And you may need to go under the radar and separate from these types of work environments, but keep doing you. Maybe pick up assignments that require only one person rather than a group project. Yes, you understand that having multiple people and being put on a really good project makes you look good. But what is the point if you don't get the recognition? So start working on smaller projects. Start doing you so that way they have to actually work. And by you working on your own stuff, people are going to start looking at all these previous projects that you were working with these other individuals and start to say, hey, did you really even put any work into that? Because none of that lines up to the work that you have that you are turning in. And that is such great justice. It's silent justice. And it makes me feel real good. If you obtain this, that's a good feeling. And it's not like you were stabbing them. It's not like you are the one that is being spiteful and taking it out on them. All you're doing is separating yourself from the situation and only doing what you can do by yourself. This is a great opportunity. Even after you do all these good tips and advice, if at the end of the day, you still cannot get your footing in this workplace, even if it hurts and you did put in a lot of time and effort and growth to make this company or this department shine, at your heart is taking a beating, and you're going to feel encouraged to look at previous jobs or even previous employers you've worked with that you enjoyed working with, and maybe taking a side adventure and leaving this company so you can work with a much more fulfilling company that makes you feel better. If these people do it to you, and I mean, if these people can sit here and take your work, not do the work, and not be held accountable, and they can keep making consequences, these people will do it to anyone else. And if your company cannot remove these two individuals because they have connections, you have the biggest connection because you are the connection that keeps the business working. So when you do decide to step back, start working on your own projects, start focusing on yourself, focusing on how you can make yourself even more valuable, someone you trust within your circle, because this is about a betrayal, someone you trust is going to try and take advantage of you. And by cutting them off, it's like it unsettles everything around them. Now they have to actually do something. And I'm also encouraging you to read your emails for any kind of hidden tones that may be mistaken, or even opt out for voice calls or one-on-one meetings. So if you're somebody that is used to sending an email, and yes, emails can make things a lot easier so you don't actually have to get up and walk to the other side of the building or get up and have a full room of people that need to be working on important things. But in your case, my dear, I think you should avoid that, at least until these people that are taking advantage of you are no longer in the picture. Whenever I write something out, and this is actually a memory I've had, and I'm glad I'm going to be able to share it with you. I had an opportunity to really show my capabilities in being a department manager while being just a regular associate. And my manager had went away on a vacation for her religion, and so I took over. And even though I was told I needed to act as if I was the manager, and the people around my department were told to listen to what I had to say because I did have previous experience, I ran the department, and business was going up. The sales went up. And when my manager came back, my assistant had told her that I ran the department better than she did in the 2 weeks that she was gone, and it hurt her. It really wounded her because she is an amazing manager, and to come back and hear that can be very wounding, and it causes this separation and this anxiety to come in, and you start really thinking about, is this person trying to take my job now? Is this person trying to take everything that I worked hard for? I'm the reason she has those skills. It's that kind of analogy that came through, and it exploded in the worst way possible. When I wrote a note for the evening shift to let them know this is what we took care of in the morning, and this is what we had left over because we had to go and assist other areas of the store that we were in, there was this individual who hated taking any kind of work or was told what to do by someone that didn't have a title that said manager on them. And they took the note that I left and read it to my department manager. And then my department manager heard how that that tone was said based off this person's viewpoint, and said that that was how I, as a person, was expressing myself, and I should never have been allowed to even leave a note for the next shift, and that I shouldn't even have had work left over for the next shift. But in reality, that day, we were taking on more than our responsibilities, and we were assisting other departments that were failing that day because of call-ins. And we had enough people scheduled for the evening crew to be able to make that sacrifice. But because this person had negative Scorpio tendencies where they struck out, and because of what the previous manager had said about her coming back, it really created a hostile work environment in that situation. And I remember going home and crying because I love people and I love helping people and I love making things easier for others and picking up new skills. And that day, I didn't want to go back. It's like my worth was questioned in that moment. And I hope that memory, that experience I had will kind of like, I hope you don't go through the exact same thing. But if you are sending any kind of email out, or if you are leaving a note, it's best to verbally speak it so that way they can hear how it is you were saying it without creating their own version of that tone. And I still have a good relationship with these individuals, because when I am headstrong, I'm headstrong. And when I'm determined, I am determined. And at the end of the day, I always say, I'll fix it. I'm sorry that it presented itself that way, but that is not how I meant for it to be. And I moved on from that. And that may be a similar thing that you will have to do. You may not be able to change the way these people feel or think in the moment, but you can move on from it and not repeat the same mistake. So let's go ahead and look at the guide that is going to be working with you on this year's purpose. And we have Oceana. I love Oceana. Take action. You're in touch with your truth in this situation, and you need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. If you've done research, if you put in the time to your purpose and your endeavors, you're being called to really jump in them. You have the Eight of Wands, you have this fast forward movement, and you have the opportunity to grab it out of the air. So jump in and grab it. Especially if you are someone that has just recently graduated and has this opportunity to start using the skills you developed and you learned in school. Because I did get a feeling of a college student or someone that has been working really hard on what it is that they are mastering. That took a lot of time and passion. And now that you have it in your hand, you're being encouraged, don't stop now. You don't want your skills to get dull. Jump in. And the other side of this, if you were someone that was working under a leader and you were their assistant, you've watched, you've observed what it takes and can now take charge. So back to that analogy, that memory I was speaking on. I had the skills in order to be a manager, but I allowed myself to stay as a regular associate. And that hurts you, and it hurts especially if you work for a company that has really good values and you know you can make a difference. Don't allow yourself to be stuck in that one energy. You were meant to accomplish more. You were meant to have something even better as a leader. And this year, year one, you were the pioneer of that move. You're going to feel even more initiative to step up and show them what you can do with everything you've learned. Actions that are necessary are being guided depending on the circumstances you place yourself in. So avoid procrastination at all costs. And if a situation or if a goal that you are working towards or a potential job or career change that you're looking into starts to become, how do I word this? If it seems like it's too much, if it seems unattainable, break down the situation into small steps to avoid being overwhelmed, and allow yourself to keep taking those steps in intervals until you feel confident in taking that next step. So if you don't feel like you are ready to take on a leadership role, this is encouraging you to let the manager step out of their role or allow them to go and assist other areas of the department and give you that time to really hone in your skills. I'm also thinking of a teacher. If you are a teacher's assistant and you do have a degree, or maybe you're a substitute and you do have this degree to teach, but you are uncertain about actually taking something for the long haul, you're being encouraged. You are already doing the work. You might as well be doing it for yourself. And you're already making an impact on those around you. And that's a great thing. If you are a teacher, I have so much love for you. I love teachers because we need more teachers in this world. And we need, especially if you are around children and you notice the effect that you have on the children. And if you do feel like I am constantly in a position where I am taking over for this teacher who is not in their role, they're not even here at the school half the year, they're off doing something else, whatever it may be. Don't have like a negative feeling about whatever it is. This teacher may be in a position where she wants to retire, and you're being groomed to take over her role, and you weren't sure why you kept being put here, why you kept being called to this person's classroom, but it was because there was someone that's seen something in you, and they actually want you to be the new teacher at this school. And that may be specific to a few, but I am getting a teacher energy vibe that's coming through that is saying, because you are positive, because you create emotionally fulfilling memories for these children, and you really do provide a protective and safe environment for them to learn and grow, that's what puts you in an advantage where you will be the first applicant to be pulled for. So allow yourself, if you are still learning and growing, keep those consistent intervals where you don't allow your skills to dull. When you make up your mind about something this year, follow through with it. There may be some temporary work or emotional turmoil, especially with the Three of Swords being here, but that's going to be replaced by a lightness akin to a breeze that is moving in fast. And I had to pause really quick. So if my hands were somewhere and then you just see them all over the place, that was my significant other, my spouse, coming in to let me know he was going on an adventure to work for free. So let me emotional turmoil, like I was kind of talking about, there's going to be these instances that may cause a lot of grief, and it's going to make you want to really stay positive when those instances do happen, especially around those key months we were talking about. And if you feel guilty for diving into what you've worked hard for, remove it. You are inspiring others to work towards their own goals. Prevent your ears from hearing, must be nice having things handed to you, given to you, built for you. Your actions are a result of your efforts alone. These people that talk like that think like that, they drain other people's energy and happiness. And you need to just keep doing you and keep grabbing all of these opportunities that are coming at you without feeling guilty. They can get that exact same thing for themselves if they were to put in the work and stop putting their own work onto other people. I'm getting heated for you. So let's look at Oceana's advice for this year. We have let go. It is now time to let go of all that no longer serves you. Free the pent-up energy inside of you and imagine it leaving your body as you breathe deeply. Forgive disappointments and pains. Do not allow bitterness in. Let go of control and allow for what which needs to die, so that you may blossom once more. I feel like that is perfect. Letting this go is what's going to help you really swim forward. And the self-care affirmation that she wants you to tell yourself, repeat to yourself 3 times. I love you, and add your name to it. I love you, add your name to it, even when things don't go our way. I love you even when people take advantage. I love you even when you don't feel strong. I love you when you find it hard to be positive. Find ways to say I love you and add your name to it. Oceana she's one of my favorite cards to come out because she really is saying you have it already, and you may even have it before this year even starts. Before you see this, or when you see this reading, you are already at a point where you can do something about it. So let me go ahead and get your Scrabble word and your charms out on the board, and then we'll go ahead and break them down. All right, here is your charms. And Oceana really came through for y'all with her own ocean. And before I talk about this Scrabble word, whenever I see a letter pop out of the box, one that I didn't pull and put in, this fell on the floor and it was very easy for me to find. And think of O and this looking like a circle. And think about the cycles that are hurting you that need to be released. And I felt that was really important. And Scrabble words, sometimes Spirit is going to make things very easy for you to understand, but then there's going to be letters that are missing key components, vowels or consonants, where you actually need to do the work and decipher what it is that is being revealed to you that you need to work on. And in this case, I took this as, do you understand ocean ink? Don't underestimate your ocean's ink. Don't underestimate what it is that you are capable of speaking about, writing about. If you do write an email, I encourage you to go to the manager and say, hey, does this read right? Does this email read off a certain way? Because I just want to make sure that I don't send something and it be taken in a negative way. And then if they give the go that it reads correctly, go ahead and send it and see how people around you will go to that manager and say, can you believe what so-and-so wrote in this email? That is so negative. And then they can say, no, I read that and told her to go ahead and send it to everybody. And what she's speaking about actually is validating. And that puts them in their place. So don't underestimate your ocean ink, and don't underestimate it. You have the ability to get away from what threatens your survival. So think of an octopus or a squid. Whenever it feels threatened or endangered, it spreads its ink and leaves immediately. And this is that cat's eye coming in to help provide that blackening, that black ink, so you can escape. And when someone finally is clearing through everything, you're no longer there. You are no longer there for them to stab against or put their 2 cents in. Your words written hold depth and emotion and need to be expressed. And I can't say that enough. What current carries you should not drown or bury you. The tides call you to rebalance during certain times of the month. When you have low tide energy, that is not when you need to be coming in with a lot of high emotional energy, because that's going to hurt you and sabotage yourself. When you are in high tide energy, don't bring in that low negative vibrational energy into it, because that's going to dampen your ability to take the benefits it's giving you. So if you notice your cycles are switched, find ways to rebalance and release what you don't need to be carrying with you. And that way you can really take advantage of any kind of month or any kind of setback or whatever the universe is throwing at you or what people are trying to throw at you. You're always going to be in the right state of mind to obtain it or to combat against it. So spread your ink everywhere. Make sure that even when you're not there, your presence is still felt. And it will remind others that you are not someone to question and you are not someone meant to take advantage of. And you do it with silent justice. And I can't get over that. Let's go ahead and look at your charms. And I did not want this to be a negative thing because Scorpio energy is in the mix that I'm pulling from a lot. And this is people that you thought weren't going to help you end up being the ones that be the friends you actually need. This is that friend that basically explains, hey, did you realize you're around a whole bunch of fake people? And at first you were like, I just want to have everyone get along together. And I just want everyone, because, you know, we go way back. And this person says, it doesn't matter whether or not you go way back with this person. They're treating you like crap. And this person is just highlighting what it is you're seeing. And there's someone you're going to be able to lean on. If you are scared to say something, this person is going to be the ink you need to get out. This is the person that is going to come in and separate you from someone that is taking advantage of you. Or this is even a manager, a boss. This is someone coming in and seeing how you are being treated, and they're helping you figure out how to avoid it or overcome it, because you're going to find many people like this in your life. You're going to find this one person that is like this, and then you're going to, depending on how you overcome that obstacle, another person's going to come in, and you're going to find many similar personalities that are like this, but it's how you take care of them is what really matters. And this is also saying, just be really careful who you talk to and find ways for you to cover your steps without you having to actually be there. This turtle, I had a dream before I started getting this pile together. And when this turtle came out and I seen Oceana and I seen this Scrabble, I got goosebumps all over my skin, because it's like Spirit says, please talk about this. So in my dream, I had two turtles, and I had one turtle that was this invasive species that was taking out the land. It was eating more than it should have been eating, and it was killing off the environment around it. And then I had this really big turtle come in and fight this invasive species turtle that had an enormous amount with it because it was able to make more of itself. And this one turtle was the one that got rid of the invasive species. And you may have a lot of love for the ocean, and you may not think that you have the ability to do something, but small actions add up over time. And your ocean ink should not be underestimated. You have a much more beautiful, vibrant shell than the rest of them. You have a sturdier, really, I think this is it almost feels metal. So don't doubt how sturdy you actually are, because you are so positive and you bring this with you wherever you go. And you have the ability to take the invasive species out wherever they may be that are manifesting. You have the ability to come in and remove them. This snowflake over here is to not let yourself flake out. Don't allow yourself to grow dull, because I keep going back to these swords. Your identity is very unique, and no one else can match it. And you should not be the thing that prevents you from having the most happiest life that you can possibly have this year. And I ended up putting it over here. And these people, these are the fake people. These are the thin snakes that are around you, that are starving, that just because they look so long and intimidating, they don't realize that that's the food you need. And everyone else may avoid them. Everyone else thinks that they're untouchable. But when they're in the water, that's when they're the most vulnerable, because that's where you live too. You have the ability to be on land and in water just like they do. And you are able to eat and digest what it is that they give out and not become this. And these people are the snowflakes. These are, whereas you have an actual identity, these people don't know how to have one. And this hook over here that I placed on this card, let go of what has a hook in you. Because in my dream, this turtle that I dreamt about didn't keep attacking the invasive species. It only attacked one time, and that's all it took. It didn't feel the need to keep going and going and going and chasing these people out the door. It only had to do it one time. And this is a rope that you're going to be able to pull yourself out of. You do the combative attack with silent justice, and you let it go. And you don't let it manifest, and you don't keep thinking about it. And by doing so, you are providing yourself a rope to pull yourself out of this situation. And this is a charm, Wanderlust. A strong desire or urge to wander, explore, or travel the world. And you may feel called to leave this so you can explore other types of opportunities that are out there in the world. And especially if this energy does not resolve itself and there's just way too many people playing their pieces and they just have way more negative energy in it, by you removing yourself and pulling yourself out of that situation and finding a different career or a different environment to work in, you are giving yourself the ability to take action. And luck is on your side here. And you are being encouraged to really start releasing your wishes, the things that you want to obtain actually out there, and allowing your guides to come in and help create situations so you can, even if you have to work a little bit more to get that. Because making a paper crane, if you've never made one, it's not going to look good. But the more you keep trying at it, the better it gets. And the more agile and more beautiful it makes. And it just has more symbolism when you're able to create something. All right, pile one, I'm going to go ahead and get the debriefing ready and wrote down so that way it makes it easier for people to find it in the description box. If you would like to participate in the debriefing, I almost missed this opportunity. So back to that relationship, you are going to be offered something very beautiful that will be very long lasting. And it's coming from your previous past, something that made you feel very good. And it's coming into this year by doing the work that you need to do. I'm so sorry. I almost got distracted. And you were being encouraged not to allow yourself to get distracted, to stay consistent. And I always take these little hiccups as the Spirit saying, I need you to keep it going. But yes, you are, and there's 5 jewels on here. I say 5, but there's actually more. There's a lot of jewels on here. There's 9, I think, in total. Abundance, happiness, emotional fulfillment. That's where you're going to be. And it's going to be something that you are recreating in this moment. So let me go ahead and get the debriefing. Thank you for being patient. All right, pile one, your debriefing this year will bring a lot of nostalgia and put focus in redefining and calibrating memories in the past to be present that make you feel more love and appreciation. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces type energy, or people that have these type of energies will work with you on this so you are nurtured while protected, creative and intuitive, and to let go of anything that stings or feels manipulative. Relationships will be moving very fast, and everything will feel like it's aligning. Even bad relationships will be kicked out of the circle. You are encouraged to keep your goals and endeavors firmly in your hands and to not allow anyone or yourself to sabotage your work. Your place of work and its environment need to be observed and evaluated. Check your emails and opt for one-on-one meetings or projects that require one person so you can showcase your skills and prevent someone from taking credit. If there are hidden benefits and regulations being broke, report anonymously or leave the company to start using skills mastered elsewhere. Take action and only walk through doors that are open this year because you will be divinely covered from low vibrational energy. And that is your debriefing. I encourage you to watch the rest of the video so you can get the in-depth in the memories and the analogies I was able to put in here. Thank you, pile one, for watching. If you feel called for another pile, go ahead and head on over to the timestamp in the description. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, please like, subscribe, and comment. And let me know when December comes around. Let me know how this year turned out for you, what you worked on, what you could have done a little bit differently, and how you're going to be able to take what you learned this year into the next year for 2027. Please return here because I want to see how you become this silent justice. I want to see how it works because I'm rooting for you and I'm sending you all of the protective energy, and I'm going to keep pushing you to keep going after what it is you were meant to do. So with much peace and love, I'm going to go ahead and get on over to the next pile. Bye, pile one. Hi, pile two. Welcome. Or if you're jumping in from another pie, jumping in from another pie. You had a slice and you're ready for another. That's what I'm getting. Let's go ahead and jump into your crystal icebreaker. And you're probably wondering if you selected the wrong pile because there are 3 crystal icebreakers here. So there's a lot going on this year for you specifically. And your spirit guides are coming and want you to really digest even more of that pie, if that makes sense. So let's look at your first one, which I love purple. Oh, you may be, I meant to take this off the screen, and okay, that's even more confirmation, and I'll talk a little bit more about this one pile that I had previously did, and you may feel called to go to that pile, but I will leave that up to you depending on how this reading resonates with you. Let me go ahead and take that over here. So we have amethyst and protection, trust, intuition. Get ready to purify. Amethyst has powerful and beneficial properties, including the ability to release addictive behaviors while also protecting your energy field. Amethyst is a great crystal to meditate with as it promotes peace and tranquility between your emotional, physical, and spiritual planes, creating harmony inside and out. It is linked to the crown and third eye chakras, connecting your intuition to the divine source. Bask in the violet rays of the amethyst crystal and stimulate your soul. And this one is chrysocolla. That is a beautiful green. It's very healing. Earth, unconditional love, cleanse. Known for the cleansing or for cleansing the aura of toxins, chrysocolla is a great crystal to use when experiencing high stress levels and burnout. The surface of chrysocolla resembles pristine oceanic views, and this aerial vantage point helps you gain perspective on situations hitting too close to home. Take a step back when those situations arise and remember to prioritize your needs first. Deeply connected to the energy of Earth, chrysocolla reminds us to get in touch with our feminine side, the part of us connected to our capacity for unconditional love. And it talked about oceanic views, and I did accidentally not take pile one's crystal away, and they did need a lot of protective energy to come in to remove them from situations that were working against them. So I encourage you to maybe check that video out, because they did have Oceana as one of their spiritual guides, and that may be a spiritual guide that hasn't revealed themselves to you because they need you to work through certain things that are going on at home or around you before you can really start to take action. But I love that y'all had a lot of confirmation for maybe researching into another pile. So this is charoite, bonding, acceptance, service. There are presents in the present. Charoite shows you the gifts of living in the moment, enhancing gratitude and appreciation for the day-to-day. This is true acceptance, letting go of expectations for what your life should be and embracing what is right now. By just being, charoite brings deep healing to your physical and emotional selves, down to your very cells. By reconfiguring your old programming into a new way of processing your daily life, after all, it is about perspective. Charoite helps you face your fears, see reality over projections, and live your truth. And this card came out in another reading, and you may be called to go to one of the readings I have done recently, because whenever I'm shuffling these cards or whenever I'm pulling from the charm basket, it always surprises me when I see repetitive energy come into the next pile. So if you start seeing messages and you keep getting the same message, you need to do something with it. And when you do something with it, then you're able to take on the next lesson, and you won't feel like you're banging your head against a wall constantly wondering, why do I keep getting this? Or you just may feel really drawn to purple. I do love purple. So let's dive in to your affirmation for this year. I am excited for change. This year's focus for Pile 2 will be prioritizing the here and now, one day at a time and one moment at a time while changing. You're encouraged to learn ways to bond in a healthy way. This card talked about reprogramming, reconfiguring how you process it, everything that goes on in your life. Step out of yourself so you may gain a deeper perspective on how your needs may be neglected. Notice stress levels regularly. Like, what happens to you when you are stressed? How do you cope with stress? Notice the coping addictions, especially when you're burnt out. And back to when something hits too close to home for your comfort, how do you deal with it? And your intuitive side, your feminine, divine feminine side, is asking you to allow yourself to go with the flow. I encourage you to look up Wu Wei, because that I have a video in one of my insight piles that I have in my channel. You are more than welcome to go to that insight, because I leave it open to the public. When I find something, I put it there so that way I can keep going back over it. And Wu Wei talks about keeping your expectations loosely and approaching difficult situations when rested, when you were fed, when you've given yourself water, and not trying to beat your head against the wall or to remove the stone that is in your way. Rather than confronting it right there, allow yourself to go around it. And once you have changed and you've made yourself bigger than the stone itself, then you will be able to pick it up and remove it from what is blocking you, and you will be able to course through a lot better. But you're being asked to really step outside that box and look at it from a different angle, look at it from a different perspective. Purify yourself with actions that make your environment more healthy. Purify yourself. Purify on the inside. And when you start working on the inside, everything else around you blooms and grows in the direction that you would want it to go. This is allowing yourself to reset and just let change unwrap naturally. So notice the energy you sit in, or if you're carrying previous battles from the past or the previous year into this year or even the next day. So this is talking about if you are someone, like when you leave work and all you think about is what went on for your day at work, and then you go home and you bring what goes on at work into your home life with your family or your friends, and you just can't let it go, and then it just causes this friction because everyone is just done talking about what is going on and they've already given you advice to deal with this situation. And so now you're upset because it feels like no one is agreeing with you, even though they've already tried to help you. And so you bring that relationship conflicting energy into the next day at work, and all you're talking about is what's going on at home, and it affects your work, and then you have a really bad day at work, and then you just think about that, and it just cycles. So notice when you drop and pick up something. So when you are done for your day at work, leave it and reset yourself, purify that energy. And yes, it is good to talk about things that are bothering you. If you are not someone that talks about your work, then you are being encouraged to open up so that way others can understand why you feel so tense and so anxious. So there are two sides of that coin. Either you're talking too much and recycling energy, or you're not releasing that energy. So there's two sides. It's not just positive or negative. There's just two sides that we need to look at. Or if you don't have a job currently, or if you are in an energy where you know you need to change, you need something to change in your world for this year, not doing anything about it is the same as saying it shall remain the same. And I think this pile actually says that. If I'm not mistaken, I think this pile does say something like that in here. But if you can't stop thinking about something, now's the time to start doing something about it. Let's go ahead and look into the Terrascope theme for this year. And you have the Two of Coins, or the Two of Pentacles. And the star signs that will be working with you during this year, this doesn't mean that you have to have these star signs or that you were actively looking for these star signs. This is the type of energy that those star signs have. So we have Capricorn, long-term goals, diligence, hard work. They're very responsible and they want you to be responsible. And then you have Taurus. Taurus knows when to plant in the right environment and to have resilience with patience and trust. And then you have Virgo energy coming in here, who is detailed, who is organized, who has rituals and loves servicing to others beyond themselves, and they love going inward. And these energies are going to help strip the not you layers, the unhealthy habits, the toxic relationships, or damaging thought patterns that you may be experiencing. So the Two of Pentacles wants you to be responsible to your relationships and to be confident that you can have it all. And that the more you do, the more you can do. Have an abundant mindset that says you already have it all. Find ways to stay busy with purpose and focus on what you currently want to work on, because this is going to help you determine how you will spend your time and energy wisely. Only juggle what you need to work on in the current moment, and reach out and communicate when you need assistance. Connect, turn up, offer, lean in join, reach out, communicate. I mean, all of these words, collaborating, they're telling you to activate and dive in. Find ways to allow those words to really help you reach out your connections. Make practical, tangible moves and be very direct. Ask people out and invite them over for a change. If you are waiting for someone to give you an offer this year, or if you are waiting for a job offer, or if you're just waiting for a relationship offer, you are being encouraged to, rather than wait for someone to put it on your plate, you need to put it on your plate yourself. January, May, and September will be areas of focus, especially if you get this reading before January or in the middle of January, beginning of January. Whenever you get this reading, January is going to be the best time to really start making that change. Something about the number 1 just evokes that kind of energy. That opportunity comes in and it's handed to us. And it's up to us whether or not we take what is handed to us. But in this case, you're being asked to reach your hand out and start doing it for yourself. Open up to your relationships or your relationship landscape and welcome in new people, friendships, romances. Really try to expand your world like this space is here, this space world picture. And I love that they did this image because in the original Rider-Waite Tarot, it shows somebody that is trying to juggle things in their world. And this is saying you need to juggle what you want to put in your world. What you are going to be exploring is how you're going to obtain what it is that you're wanting. You can achieve success, have a great home, financial stability, and relationships, like healthy relationships. And really let the people that help bring you out of muck energy, like if you're feeling a certain way, or if you're someone that has problem with resolutions, or you've had issues where like, oh crap, I forgot to do something for January. Oh, I didn't even plan anything for this year. And maybe you're already in the middle of the year. And that shouldn't deter you from making a change, because the year is just going to keep going. Time is just going to keep moving. What matters is if you were to take this energy right now and pretend that you already have everything that you want, you have the whole world in your hands, then you are in a better position to take on any kind of change, because you're not looking for change, you are going after it and it's following you. So find the time to balance work and home relationships. Back to the, what do you bring from home to work? What do you bring from work to home? And how can you healthily talk about it and not let it drive your thoughts to the point where when you go to sleep at night, you don't even get a good night's rest. So if you're excited for change, one thing I do recommend, if you want to bring a small piece of change into your world, is keep a journal by your bed. And I talk about this in another video. Keep a journal in your bed that you can release your worries to, because once you put it on paper, you've already let your mind think about it so much, and you actually triggered the part of your brain that intellectualizes the problem. And by releasing it, you no longer need to think about it. And I love that. I love doing that. So going into the relationships that will be surrounding you this year. And we have the 9 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands really talks about being resilient, being courageous, persistent, and to put faith to the test, and to have boundaries, healthy boundaries. Never give up on the relationships you know will be beneficial to your overall good being. The ones that don't hold unattainable goals and expectations. These are people that don't make you strive for the bar that is too high for you to overcome. These people that you need to keep in your world, these are the ones that don't make you feel guarded or weary. They're the ones who have proven their worth countless times. And if there is someone that has been trying to come in to your world, but you were terrified to start a relationship because of everything else that has occurred around you, you've already seen that they have proven themselves multiple times, and you are being asked to take that leap of faith with them. Be firm with those around you who push you past your limits and breaking point. These are the people around you, whether it be your family, your friends, or your coworkers, whoever is pushing you past your breaking point unnecessarily so. Those who won't let you rest or wind down. Those that live in the past. Set clear boundaries and consistently follow through on what you say you will do when they push you. If you are single, please just have courage to present your best self regardless of how past relationships have presented. You are wiser now and recognize what should orbit around you. You know what should be orbiting around your world. But if you have so much defenses around you and you don't actively step out of your gate to travel, to explore, to see what each planet has, because look at these planets. These smaller ones are not the ones meant for you. And these are the ones that you have put your barrier up around. These are the ones that caused a lot of chaos and gravity spells that made you feel put down. And the ones that you need to be circling around are the ones that have healthy boundaries, because this is Saturn, and Saturn has those rocks, the dust and the bits that flow around it. But if you know how to navigate it, then you will be able to enter it. And there is the sun and the moon. Here's the sun and here's the moon. There is this balance that is needed for this relationship to work. And in order for you to obtain this balanced relationship, you're going to have to be willing to travel and explore and really test it. Now, if you are around people who constantly take things from you, really look at what type of person is immediately jumping themselves at you and whether or not they are an energy vampire. If you've done the work and you've obtained everything, like you have a nice house, you have a great savings account, you have a car, you have a good job, but you have been in situations where you have been with someone, or maybe you were in a marriage and that marriage did not work out, regardless of how hard you tried to make it work, let that be a lesson, so that don't let someone who comes in who doesn't have their life together. I'm not saying that you shouldn't help someone. What I'm saying is, if there is someone that takes advantage of people who have everything together and then they take until they don't have anything and then they leave, that's what you need to protect yourself against. And you need to start turning the other way, away from these people. Don't guard your passions to the point you don't experience them yourself. So if you are afraid someone's going to come in and make you sell your car, make you sell your bicycle, your hobbies that you do at home, maybe you like to, an example would be like if you like Legos and you have a room designated for the things that you build, and someone comes in and says, you need to get rid of all of that because I'm not having toys in the house. That kind of person. And then now you just have an empty room. Don't allow yourself to be around this kind of energy. If you are in a relationship, this is telling you this year you need to be willing to say no if it is not in alignment with yourself or it will cause you to have to work even harder. Don't fight hard for everything by yourself either. If you are the one in the relationship that is having to make everything work, if you are the one that is you're jumping for that standard that person says they want in their life, but they're not doing anything for it, you're being encouraged, listen, I can't do this by myself. I'm the one that is stressed out. I am the one that's having to do all this work while you don't do anything. You have your savings account and they have theirs, but it's your savings account, your money, it becomes theirs, and you don't even get to enjoy the things that you want to enjoy. And I really hope that's not the situation for a select few that may be going through this. But if it's a healthy relationship, you're being encouraged to kind of be able to voice your opinion, be able to voice what it is you should be working on, especially if you allow someone to come in and just kind of take control of the situation. And you may be okay with them building the life that you both want. But if they start to do something that, like, they may start to splurge when they shouldn't be splurging, or they are leaving jobs consistently without a backup plan, and it just puts you behind even more. This card with your relationships is helping you to say no for the right reasons and to not let people take advantage, especially if they can't build that life for themselves. And noticing when you start to build yourself in a self-prison where you are putting a lock on those passions. Speak up when you need help. Speak up when you can't keep fighting. And I want you to feel very protected while you're doing this, because even though, like, there is this single energy and there is this part of me that thinks if you are already in a relationship, if it's not healthy and you're having to defend yourself so much, you're being asked to create a change. Either to speak up and expect them to take responsibility for their actions, or you are going to shuttle up and take off on another adventure in the world and actually follow through with it and don't go back to it. It will be scary if you have to do that, but it will be for your benefit, your good. And this could also mean needing to feel a little bit more protected in your relationship, especially if there are people in your circle around you that have a say in your relationship and how it unfolds, and you feeling like you need to guard yourself around someone, whether this be a parental energy that you're guarding yourself from, or the other person's family that you're trying to protect yourself from. Or this could be you are leaving your town, your city, you are leaving with your significant other so you can protect yourself. That is another thing I am getting from this. There's a lot of different types of energy coming in, but with the Nine of Wands, you are excited for change and you're doing this so you don't have to be so tired and on the defense mode all the time. You're willing to go to the opposite end of the world for this person if it means you can have more balance and security and abundance. So let's go ahead and look at your career insight for this year. And the Five of Pentacles, if you are say when you enter into this year, you're being encouraged to look at your financial status, where your mindset is, and where you allow your worries to isolate yourself from those around you. And there's two quotes that I wrote down because these quotes are very impactful, and I really want you to take the quote and see how that quote means for you, especially when it concerns your career, your job, if you have a job or if you do not have a job. And this quote is by Anthony Robbins, and they are a motivational author and speaker. Most people never feel secure because they are always worried that they will lose their job, lose the money they already have, lose their spouse, lose their health, and so on. The only true security in life comes from knowing that every single day you are improving yourself in some way, that you are increasing the caliber of who you are, and that you are valuable to your company, your friends, and your family. And if you are chasing something with a lack of mindset, if you are constantly having to defend yourself where you work, if you're constantly having to put in more work than everyone else around you, it is going to make you feel a certain way. It's going to make you want to run away from this position, this relationship that you have in your workplace. It makes you feel like you're lacking. If you are at a job that makes you feel like you are lacking, you are going to be very encouraged to maybe change that mindset or even change where it is you were working. The other quote that I wrote down it's by Robert Collier, and he's a writer. If you see yourself as prosperous, you will be. If you see yourself as continually hard up, that is exactly what you will be. If you see yourself as being a hard person to get along with, you will be. If you see someone that is hard to communicate with, someone that is hard to work with, you will be. And by being someone that is hard to work with, you are causing this financial loss to occur. And all they're wanting you to do here is, when it is too much for you to do by yourself, reach out and ask for someone to come in and help you take the stress off your plate, off your shoulders. And by doing so, you will be a lot more prosperous, and you will feel a lot more different about the people that you are around, because you won't feel like you need to put up a boundary around you. If you've been having to do the work for multiple people, because this is what I'm thinking of, you're holding the stick for multiple people. And pile one also had a similar type of energy, where they're the ones that are taking on the work, and other people are taking their work for themselves. And in this pile, I'm getting, you are very overloaded with what is on your plate right now, and it is to the point of self-ruin. And 5 is about change. The way you approach your job, the way you approach your tasks, the way you go about your goals or your assignments that you have, you need to change that and see, am I doing the work of 5 other people, 9 other people, 3 other people? And if I am, how can I put a healthy boundary around myself so I'm only working on what it is I need to be working on? They can stand there all day long and try to put something on my plate, but unless I reach out and take it for myself, I'm not going to work on what it is they're supposed to be working on. And that's what you need to be doing. You need to invite what it is that you want to work on and reject what it is that you don't want to. The no needs to be here. And you're being encouraged to consider how you are currently living and how you can budget your finances. I keep going back to budgeting, because this is important, to surround yourself with a healthy purse in case you do need to leave. And now the relationships around you, if they know that you're stressed about this job, explain why you need to put money aside. I took financial family and finance in high school, and one of the recommendations that they had is to have a 6-month worth of saving for like your rent or your mortgage or whatever it is that you would have to pay for your living expenses aside, in the event that you need to look for a job and you are in a market where it is hard to find the job or the skill set that you have. So you don't find yourself in a state of panic and having to completely remove yourself from where you are living. Because if you are living a very well, what's the word I'm thinking of? If you're someone that has a coffee and it's from the expensive place and you buy the most expensive clothes and you just want to look and feel good and be able to splurge on the things that you want, the passions and the hobbies, you're being encouraged, if you don't want to lose that ability to spend on those kinds of things, then you need to have something set aside so you don't have to sell the things that you love or reduce your cost of living, if that makes sense. Or even find sustainable solutions where your hobby is a source of income, or looking into thrift stores that has the brands of clothes that you enjoy wearing, going to a thrift store and getting it at a discounted price. I'm hearing that as well. So consider how you are currently living. Where is your money going? How can you repurpose essentials? How can you create sustainable solutions? How can you change mindset around how you view saving versus overspending? And if you are a mother or a father or a caretaker, and for instance, if you did not have that upbringing that allowed you to go to college or allowed you to, or you live in a town that is really small and you don't have the financial means to move to a bigger city or a job that pays enough to get by, because cost of living goes up, but the minimum wage does not really move, and your check just goes exactly to that cost of living. Research government-sponsored benefits and programs when things become too rough. You should not have to be trying to fight it all. Your pride, those government-assisted programs are there to assist you because of the unattainable ability to live when the cost of living goes up here and the cost of expenses keeps rising. That is supposed to be a bridge so that way you can still live a good life and be able to go to school if you want to go to school and not feel like you have to struggle so much. Research the programs that will help you not feel like you have to work so hard because you're beating yourself up over it. You may be turning yourself away from these programs. I promise you, I've had to be like, food stamps. I've had to be on food stamps in my childhood. My mom had 5 kids and she was only making, I think, like $5.50 an hour where she worked. And there was no way she was going to be able to pay to feed all of us. And our other parent was in a different town and he was not in a position to be able to assist either. And this is saying, don't be afraid to ask for help and to only reach out for what you need to be reaching out for. It's not like, especially if you have negative mindset around how you view people who have to live on government care, find ways to remove that negative connotation. You may not always need to be on government care. You just need it to help you get to the point where you are successful and can effectively lead your life. Because number one is about leading your life, creating change for yourself, and having those healthy boundaries. Stop fighting your battles. The I don't make enough, so why try? While you are still working, research other employment opportunities and don't just quit without a plan. There are other options out there, and if the work you're doing is making you continue to live in poverty, you are being encouraged to find it. Find what you need in order to prevent you from being this person that is running past this church. It's almost like they're in previous Rider-Waite Tarot. These people are actually looking inside the church, and they can feel that warmth, and it's calling to them, this hope that is calling to them. And in this one, they're running from it. It's like they're running from having a sense of security. It's like they have to stay in that state of poverty, and you're being encouraged to not allow yourself to stay in that state of poverty because it's taking its toll. All right, let me go ahead and get into your spirit guide that is going to be working with you this year. And we have Isabella. Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. In pile 1, their affirmation was, I am positive. And in yours, it is, I'm excited for change. So I feel like the two groups they have connections, and it's just confirmation after confirmation. Yours is a lot of new venture. Yours is a new way of thinking and being excited for change. So Isabella, she helps with revealing situations you've been hoping for by keeping your eyes open to more possibilities, and encourages you to keep asking for help along the way. These ideal situations require adjustments to find smooth sailing because timing is everything. When you see pieces of this year's puzzle fall in place, you will know it's the right time. Invaluable lessons learned will prepare you. When you practice patience with yourself and others, you will reap more rewards. Take bold, fearless steps where you step out of this, where you don't have to keep looking at this. Her advice, and she has 2 for you, and I will flip them over. Be true to who you are. You are your own person, but sometimes our sense of safety and self can be wrapped up in something else, which can hinder our ability to trust ourselves and our intuition, and can lead us to betray ourselves for that which we identify with. Separate yourself as much as you can so that you have space to come forth. Do not be disheartened if this takes time. Connect with the cosmos. The night sky holds many a wonder, some that we see with our eyes and some that we know with our hearts. If you have pulled this card, then it is time to look beyond. Go stargazing, learn the constellations, study astrology, or take time in prayer to the divine. Let the magic of the universe connect to the boundlessness within you. And maybe allowing yourself to see with your eyes, you're able to avoid this loss, this financial setback, this I'm quitting this, and it causing even more turmoil than if you had prepared yourself in a better way. connect with the cosmos. And the why that sticks out with this, when you find, if you're somebody that likes to camp and create your own shelter, the why sticks that you find in nature are the most valued when building a shelter. Because when you put them with other branches, they can lock in place and provide a lean-to support beam. Find these type of sticks, these type of situations that stabilize you. And whenever you're studying astrology, and this is what I'm getting here, is what I love about astrology, and this is where I want to kind of like do the why. A lot of times you'll have the negative sayers that when they see their astrology sign is this, they're like, well, that's not who I am. I don't view astrology where it is, I am just defined by that one specific thing. I see astrology as this book of gifts and talents and skills that I want to master and be able to walk and have. I want to be able to have Taurus energy. I want to be able to have, because I am a Virgo, but I don't want to just be a Virgo. I want to be someone that is able to take action like Aries. Aries can take action. They're able to, like, anytime they have a thought, they immediately start diving into it. Whereas my Virgo is like, I need to have all the details in front of me. Study astrology and allow yourself to develop these skills around you that help build on that one main skill that you have. And that's what I'm getting with connect with the cosmos, the advice, when the timing is right, when the puzzles fall into place. As you are building this year's puzzle, you're taking that one astrology sign and you're building it and you're putting it into this until you become this jack of all trades, this person that it becomes so valuable that the company will give you the pay that you want. They will give you the group of people that you need in order to make this project work. That by being this person that understands everybody and their flaws, their ticks, their what drives them, you are somebody that is leading themselves to being a president in that sense, because you understand everything and what it takes to motivate others to keep pushing. And you, the Nine of Wands is telling you, you're there to almost a burnout, which comes with the Ten of Wands. But if you keep, as long as you reevaluate and change your direction, you're going to avoid that burnout, and then you're going to reach that threshold where you want to be, because that happy outcome follows with how you expect it to come. And the self-care love that Isabella wants you to start saying is, look into moon energy for your highest desires. I talked about this in Power 1 as well. I talked about high tides and low tides with the moon cycles. So if you are in high tide energy and you're coming into it with this beat up emotional energy, you cannot harness or take advantage of it. If you are taking high tide energy after you have been beat up into low tide energy, it's just going to cycle and manifest its way in a way that is not beneficial. You're not going to be able to accomplish as much. And you're going to feel like you're chasing things constantly. Whereas you need to be resting, reevaluating, and then making a step after the puzzle has fell in the right spot. You may have to turn things a bit differently, or even set that puzzle piece aside and build the edge around it. I love doing puzzles, if you can't tell. So whenever I'm putting up I just did a 1,000-piece puzzle. And when you're building puzzles, I find that the best way to do it is to start finding all the edge pieces. And as you are finding all the edge pieces, you are separating the colors. You're putting color piles together while you're looking for the edges. And then when you get done with the edges, you can look at the colors and be able to put them wherever they go in the edges. And that's what you're being encouraged to do. Because right now, all these pieces, they may not make sense. You don't know where they're going. But if you set them aside and you go with the flow, you will be able to effectively overcome the situation you're in, especially for this year. Let me get your charms and your Scrabble out on the board, so just give me a second. All right, so here is your word Scrabble and your charms. And you know how in the beginning I said something about from your thank you for joining in from another pie? I forgot that y'all had this one in here, and I thought that was really funny that Spirit brought it in here, and I forgot completely about this. But I will go back. I will go into this in just a little bit. So let's look at your word Scrabble. And yes, this letter is over here for a reason, because it was actually in my charm basket by accident. I sew my mouth shut, but keep my eyes open. I sew my eyes closed and keep my mouth open, taking everything in. And pile 1 had the letter O fall out when gathering letter tiles. And this is why I thought it was very significant about you jumping over and kind of looking at pile 1 if you felt called to it, or when you're in a really good state. However, piles 1 was very easy to find when it fell out, and this one fell out and inside one of my shelves. And I want you to look at the O as cycles or circles or habits you find yourself avoiding or blindfolding from, since this was hard to find. I thought it hit the floor, and I was literally looking under my bed, my desk. I was looking everywhere, and it wasn't until I turned and I was at a different angle from where I was in my room where I seen it barely peeking out. And for your pile, start, and when you, and these are the habits I want you to look at. When you are starting and stopping projects or careers, when you are avoiding conflicts and resolving issues you should not be resolving that aren't yours to resolve, when you are abandoning your efforts when you're too stressed, when you're creating your own self-fulfilling prophecies with lack mindset, and when what you do with betrayal and resentment wounds, especially if they're unhealed. And I know that was a lot to unpack in this one little incident here, but you're being encouraged to really unpack what causes you to be in this constant state of cycle where you're losing and then you're gaining, and then you're losing and then you're gaining, and then you're having to fight even harder. Your perspective on life needs to be restitched. So with sewing, blanket, mistake, analogy versus giving up versus reworking. So blanket, mistake. When you make a mistake, you just throw a blanket on it. How can you, but it's still there. When you throw a blanket on a situation, it's still there, and you don't want to blindfold yourself to it. And the other thing, and I had to really think about this one, and I know I'm already talking about this, but because sewing was here, my daughter had this no-sew kit blanket with little characters on it, and it sat in a box for 4 years. And I've had a lot of time to really start jumping into the things that I really enjoy doing, and making puzzles, creating art, doing my tarot videos for y'all, and I did the whole blanket, right? So I was piecing this no-sew blanket together, and I was tying the loops, and I was working one row at a time, one row at a time, one row. And I got to the final row, and that was the final row. That was the final one that I needed to work on. And I somehow pieced this first beginning row to this somehow. So when I got to this final point, it was like there was a missing piece. Did I say, I give up? I messed it up and that's the blanket you get. No, I didn't do that, because it's important for my children to see that I don't throw in the towel just because I make a mistake. I picked the blanket up and I only unattached the top layer because they were squares that were together. And when I made it back this way, I seen how I made the mistake. And as soon as I fixed it and pieced it together, I created the most memorable blanket my daughter carries around with her now. And it's something I created for her. Do you toss in the towel even though you were almost there? You were almost complete. How can you step away, take a breather, and then go back to it? And this is asking you to notice what you're feeding your mind, what damps down and causes repetitive cycles, and how can you be the one to sow what it is you are creating or planting. What do you want to create? I wanted to create an experience where my daughter felt like she can wrap herself in warmth even when I'm not around, and to also create a idea for her when she becomes an adult that by just reworking the last section or the last chapter you were in, you can finish it out and start something else. So let me go ahead and get into your charms. And I talked about this with your focusing on the cosmos. And this was originally, whenever I was doing my pile, I had my astrology coin up here because I am an advocate of learning all sorts of skills and trades. And this is a heavy one to carry with you because it fell out onto your pile when I was getting everything ready. And this is not one I keep in my charm basket, but I allowed it to be your charm for this year. Make a vow, constellation coin. Discover and explore the astrology skill chart, 12 constellations, one for each month. Start with the ones that are going to be helping you this year. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. I don't care which ones you focus on or develop skills in, but let those be your first three for your first 3 months. Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Be your own action hero. Keep your eyes open, but don't feed your body or mind with false information. Explore your mind's limits and trust your intuitive more. That's with this one. And I put that over here because the colors were very similar to the people. When you see yourself heading towards a disastrous situation, allow your intuition to come in, root itself, so that way you can avoid poverty and loss. This sticky notebook, I am so glad it actually made it out. I was wondering if it was ever going to make it into a reading. Leave warm reminders that encourage you to stick to the goals and chapter you are writing. Don't keep rereading blank pages because all of these are blank. And if that's what you're reading, you're not going to absorb anything. You are not going to build anything. You are not going to finish anything. This golf ball has came out in some readings, and it's funny whenever I get it and I notice it. So I didn't know that this had Diablo written on it, and I do have another pile. I don't remember if it was pile 3 or 4, and they did have Diablo come out in their card. So notice the devil that is around you. Who holds the limitations on the ability to grow in a day-to-day basis? The situations and what choices are you shooting your shot towards, and what sinks in and what doesn't. So like when you are golfing or you're playing putt-putt, when you shoot your shot, do you keep trying? Are you patient with yourself? Or do you allow yourself to keep constantly hit the ball farther from where it is because of this mindset of I'm not going to get in anyway, so I might as well just shoot it out away from me? The goal is to have it slowly get to where it needs to sink in, back to the puzzles, back to allowing these pieces to fall in when they need to. It may take, there's some people that can do it in one shot, but that's because they practiced it. And then there are people that it takes them 30 times before it finally sinks. But let me tell you something. It sunk. They finally got what it is that they were doing. This pin over here, service, focus on working towards something greater than yourself and put service to self to test. when you find that you are working towards something, or wherever you're working, whatever business that you're working in, what is their values? What are they working towards? And what are some good benefits that they have for the community around them? And then when you start working or joining in those types of groups, you start to have a sense of purpose, and these people start to see a softer side to you, especially if you're doing something you actually enjoy doing, like helping the homeless or picking up trash in the community or sewing blankets or clothes for those that are in need. I'm getting that as well. Maybe you are very crafty and you just love helping others. And this pizza, what are your food comforts, and are they healthy or bring limited happiness? Are you splurging in the moment for instant gratification? Back to the Diablo. Like, when you see the box, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing the sunny, the good. They've got their forks and their spoons ready, and your mouth is watering, and you're in this, when you're tempted by something, if you're the one that allows yourself to stay in the room with the temptation, how can you prevent yourself from turning away from it, from looking away from what is tempting you to go back to this? Because that's what you need to remind yourself. If I eat this, and I keep spending money on things that don't help me save or repurpose, if I keep spending my money going out and not bringing my lunch to work, you need to remind yourself this is what's going to happen if you keep doing that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have your piece of the cake, your piece of the pie. Reward yourself from time to time. Allow yourself to dive into those small urges, because if you keep, like, say you had a pizza in front of you and you bought it, or it was around you and you're like, okay, I'm not going to even touch that. I'm not even going to eat it. By the time you were waiting away from it, you end up eating the whole thing rather than if you just taken one slice and then savor it. This R over here is learn to reward, when to retreat, how to reestablish energy resources. Learn to reward yourself and not beat yourself up whenever you fall off from what goal it is you were trying to work towards, whether it be having a healthy body image or staying at the job that you're staying at, but your emotional levels get to a certain point and then you explode and now you're having to look for another job. So, like, find ways to have that healthy balance. This ring comes out so often and it makes me aggravated, because this is a ring that talks about who keeps you in a prison, who keeps you in a lack type mindset, and who is the one that has control over your finances, who has control over you. And how can you keep yourself from making these kinds of promises where you don't reach out for help and you always keep struggling? How can you make a promise to yourself that you're not going to allow yourself to struggle? How can you connect with the divine and release what you need to around you? How can you be your own hero? And so now I'm going to go ahead and get into the debriefing. You are more than welcome to stay for the debriefing, or if you would like to go ahead and head out, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to go ahead and jump into another pile, that is all right as well. And I hope that you were able to finish what you were wanting to accomplish this year. I really do. Because you are a superhero and you are able to save people from any situation that you put your mind to. Even if you deliver pizza, you are still a hero. You are my children's hero if you do deliver pizzas on the side. My kids, if they could eat pizza every day, they would. And they see you as an actual Superman. Find ways, even if you are somebody that collects trash and you pick up trash in the community and that is your job, that's a worthy job. Someone that cleans up the community needs to be recognized. Like, find a reason why your job is worthy, why you are a superhero in what you're doing, and understand why that job is important. Find the why. Find the why that job makes the world stable. But all right, let me go ahead and get the debrief timestamp wrote down, and then I'll go ahead and do the debriefing. All right, here's the debriefing for pile 2. An enormous mindset shift is being encouraged this year with the need to change, so you have more time and energy to work on goals and passions that matter, and open up to those, and to really open up to those around for assistance, inviting them in. Be patient as you are piecing puzzle pieces together, and look at your habits and day-to-day spending with eyes open, with fresh perspective. Avoid instant gratification splurges and find ways to budget and repurpose essentials. Pick an astrology skill set for each month and walk in that zodiac's shoes. Start writing and creating a story where you are the action superhero. Rewire the mind from a place of lack and act as if you have it all. Find a purpose greater than yourself to work towards and be true to who you are. Before switching jobs or moving locations, make sure you already have them in hand. This will help you with smooth sailing and transitions. Don't be afraid to ask for help or guidance on resources. Look also look at phantom energy being used, things that you can unplug that will save you in the long term. And that was your debriefing. I encourage you to go ahead and look at everything that unfolded before this so you can get the whole medicine for this year. Thank you, pile 2, for watching and listening. And if you felt called to go to another pile, go ahead and head on over to it. If you want to see more content like this, like, comment, subscribe, and check in next December to let me know how it goes. I want to see how your journey unfolded, what you learned to do, how you didn't just give up, you just worked the last stitch and completed the project as a whole. And if you know someone that could benefit from this type of information, please share, because sharing is caring. But I hope you have a lot of success and you receive a lot of financial assistance or abundance, and that you get what is on your plate, what is meant to be on your plate, and the boundaries that you put up are healthy, and you do allow love and relationships and opportunities to come in by reaching out for them. All right, pile 2, I'm going to go ahead and head over to the next pile. Thank you. Hi, pile 3. Welcome, and welcome if you are coming from another pile. Let's go ahead and see what year 2026 has for you with your crystal icebreaker and your affirmation. So we have cobaltocalcite, love, emotional healing, compassion. Love is all you need, especially with cobaltocalcite, a stone of unconditional love and forgiveness. This crystal promotes emotional healing above all else. It fosters compassion for yourself, exuding the confidence that your self-worth can only be cultivated from within. Self-love rituals are encouraged with this stone, especially those that nourish and honor your body as a temple. Cobaltocalcite amplifies the vibration of love, nurturing your inner child and giving you endless energetic hugs. You are always supported. And your affirmation this year is, I am playful. If you are overly serious, like you're a very serious type person, how can you allow your inner child to come out and play? This year will encourage rituals around self-care and putting your needs first. So be confident as if you had the eyes for adventure and can take on any imaginary beasts and slay them with a face mask. Put war paint on your nails to trick your foes with a snap and a bit of courage that says, I'm fierce. Giggle at whatever daydream comes through, leaving others to wonder what's going on inside your mind. Rituals may be silly, but I promise you, they will provide a routine where you can allow your inner child to come in at the same time. And they really do provide a lot of emotional support. By doing this, you are providing all the worth yourself desires. You don't need to ask for permission either when you're taking care of yourself. Sneak away and play again this year. Be the thing that you needed. Be playful while you're doing it. And I do feel like you are somebody that really wants to tap into this kind of energy, but you may have been at a point where you've just had to be serious. And this energy is asking you to let go of whatever you were doing in the previous year, so that way you can actually start to play. You did the work in the previous year, and now you can play this year. Because you did the work, you can play this year. So trust yourself on this. We're going to go ahead and jump into the Two of Wands, and this is the tarot scope that is going to assist you this year. And the 3 months that will be very key for you to focus on this year, to pay attention to, is April, August, and December. So you've got a long ways to go, especially if you jump into this video in January. So you have a lot of time to play around with, and then these 3 months you're going to need to really put some focus into. And the zodiac signs, or the energy that is going to help you this year, it doesn't mean that you have to have these zodiac signs. It just means this is the type of energy that you need to be walking in. So we have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So find energy to push forward as an idea takes shape. Find courage and self-confidence to shine. That's what Leos are really good about doing. They're able to be authentic and shine in the spotlight. To be a leader who can shoot their shot at any target aimed at. And because you've done the work in the previous year, this year you're actually going to use your skills and show people how easy it is for you to hit a target. There's going to be a lot of options and potential roads, ways this year. Like, we have the Two of Wands, so you're being encouraged to play with these roads. Anything that presents itself to you, you are encouraged to explore it. Focus on tasks and goals that feel important and make the most impact on your world. If you start too many things at once but complete nothing, you will feel defeated or overwhelmed. So write down and plan priorities you want to accomplish this year. Bullet point the why behind each one. Review what you invest in, how your schedule will look or change when starting it, and if there are other commitments that have been promised and need to be executed. And you're being encouraged not to beat yourself up if you have to skip a day or check a plan to perform whatever goal you have at a different time. Take a conscious stance on your activities and work with the distractions that may arise. You will be encouraged to work with others too, especially if the project is the same that they're working on. Accomplish something creative and inspiring this year and find ways to have fun while doing it. And to have multiple doors open up to you at the same time I'm very jealous. And because you did do the work, you are now given the opportunity with all these doors that are open to walk through any one of them. But you are being encouraged that before you walk through that door, if you have anything that needs to be resolved, something that you were almost completed with, go ahead and complete it. And then you may find this golden door that appears out of nowhere, and that is the one thing you should be working on. Let's jump into your relationships. And you got 2 relationship cards. So there was something very significant that Spirit felt the need to reveal to you. And because I have 2 relationship cards, so just bear with me as I'm kind of like talking about each one. Because we have the 7 of Cups and we have the World. And your relationships, the people that are around you, you don't need to rush into any of them. You really don't feel like you need to rush. You already have all these doors, these potential offers, these potential relationships, these emotional fulfilling opportunities that are around you. And you're being encouraged before you walk through the door to figure out what it is you want to complete your world. What would be a potential partner for you? One that helps you be playful. Who will allow this side of you to come out so you don't feel so serious? And this is also because I did have the World in reverse, so I'm talking about it in a reverse kind of way. Do you need a closure of some kind to happen before you can start something new? You don't need to take shortcuts when it comes to having healthy relationships. Doing so will only cause delays. Use this time to reflect on what types of people leave your cup full and with plenty to spare, and who pours toxins into your cup to drink. You don't need to rush into something new if you constantly think about how a previous relationship or how a home you grew up in left a foul taste in your mouth. Take this time to pour out what needs to be drained so your world can start to feel turned around. Find what it is you need first. Find the cup that has a picture of you with your name on it and really gulp it down. Really start drinking it, because that's the cup you need to be drinking from. Make time for yourself. Your schedule's going to fill up with dates and outings throughout this year. And if you want to have energy to be playful, start drinking what you need to be drinking right now. And when you do this, even more cups are going to appear. Look at these branches. These branches are saying there's going to be different roads that you can take. But the one you want is the one that reflects the same back to you, that reaches out to you like you reach out to them. If you are in a relationship already this year, or when you're entering into this year, you need to slow down and look carefully at what world that you two are trying to build or cultivate. If you are thinking about moving in together or getting a bigger place, look at what you currently have that needs to be gotten rid of, and how you can use a garage sale or a ways to take things that you no longer use, so that way you have more money in your pocket. Try to collaborate and agree on where you want your roots to be, where you want to establish your relationship for the long term. And if you are looking towards getting a home this year, actually go to the neighborhood wherever the home is that you're looking at. Look at the school area and how they perform and how far away it is from your work. That's also being encouraged. So find ways where you can collaborate with your significant other so you can meet each other in the middle. And if you are moving in from, like, say you had your apartment and this person had their apartment, now you have all of this furniture that you need to get rid of. Or maybe you have something you want to keep, but you see something they have and you're like, I really hope they don't want to keep that. Find ways to collaborate, to compromise, to collaborate. That way, it's not just one person's world in one apartment. You're able to bring both the apartment in. And like say, maybe if you are going into a new home and like say you lived with your parents and you married your sweetheart out of high school and now you're getting your own place because you worked and put money back so you can go ahead and start a relationship off. Rather than buying everything brand new, how can you repurpose the things that you currently have, or how can you go to like thrift stores so you can save that money? But more importantly, the Two of Wands encourages a checklist with SMART goals and determining what feels important to you and aligns to your passions. And I keep wanting to reiterate this. There are going to be opportunities ahead. Even if you don't feel like there is an opportunity ahead for you, you do have opportunities. You just need to be willing to explore them. And explore them, finish them before opening another door, if that makes sense. So actual closure is important. For your career this year, we have the Page of Swords. Something exciting will be revealing itself at work this year. You will have an opportunity to learn and perhaps teach others on a change that is coming through, or a new tool or gadget that is being provided to make the business better. And this is something that you have an area of expertise in. If you are about to announce a new project that is going to take shape and be the main focus this year, be sure to keep your feet on the ground as the details are being finalized, and especially before they reach the checkpoint. Remember how not everything is set in stone and plans change, especially if too many projects haven't been completed. Use this excitement to complete ahead of schedule, that Aries energy, so to speak. So there's room to grow and learn in a stress-free environment. Only you pulled the sword from the stone, like Arthur. So if you were being interviewed for a job, be ready to get a call back. And they're encouraging you while you did have a really good interview. That doesn't mean to quit your job with the idea that you have this job already. Don't quit what you are currently working on so you may leave on a good note with a good recommendation. If you need closure with your current workplace, exchange contact information because you may need their assistance still. Don't keep turning back when you feel anxious about change. Embrace it and encourage the butterflies to motivate you. In the meantime, while details are being worked out, be patient and keep sharpening your communication skills, or research the other party's tools they use so that way you won't put yourself in an unfamiliar situation. Play and explore to strengthen your mind's muscle memory. So when you're at work and you find yourself in a position where you worked for another company and they had a lot more assets than this new one you're working at, and you're like, hey, I know how to make this be more financially stable for the company, and they finally listen to your advice. But before you can actually show them how it works, I may even say that maybe you should take them, if you have a good relationship with your previous employer and y'all still talk to each other, take your boss or this group that works on projects and stuff, take them to the business, and that may give them a connection to where these two companies can work together, and allow them to see firsthand why this tool is so important. And The previous company I worked for, the owner, who is no longer alive, one of his biggest things is he never focused on what somebody was doing wrong. He looked at his competitors and looked at what it is that they are doing right, because that is what the customers were wanting at that time. He understood the trends. And if you understand trends and you understand what people have in their hands and why it is important to be ahead of the trend, then you are opening up a lot more stability and financial resources to this company that is more fulfilling. And it's asking you to be very playful. Be playful when they say, no, we kind of don't want to do that. Don't let that dampen you. Don't let that darken you. Sometimes it's best to show somebody something without permission in a healthy way. Don't do something that would get yourself fired. But if you're worried that if you were to present this and it be shot down, see if you can borrow the tool that is being used, especially if there's nothing in the handbook that says you can't use this tool, and show them, hey, I figured I'd try something different today. I hope you don't mind. And then they say, oh my God, you just finished a month's worth of project with just that. And you're having fun while doing it, and it's taking a load off everybody. So your career is you're the one that was chosen, and you're the one that's going to have the round table. You're going to find yourself in a position where you finally, like at first you were playful. You said good morning to the executive, the CEO, and you just stayed confident, and you stayed ahead of schedule, and you finished what it is that you needed to do, and then you started on the next thing. You allowed yourself to reflect and close what isn't open to you any longer, and worked with what you had in front. And this is what makes you get to sit at the table with everyone, because now they see that you're the author that they've been waiting for to write their company's future and to set it for them. And that's what I'm getting. And if you don't have a job, like I said, you are going to be getting an exciting opportunity by staying playful and just having a skill set that makes you more unique. And your pile is what's going to be pulled for it. All you need to do is continue working on yourself and your skills, and don't let them grow dull or make you dark. The guide that will be working with you this year on your purpose is Francesca. What do you desire right now? Visualize it, and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. When you ask what's next, you are in charge of making a decision. Don't worry about making the wrong choice this year. The script is yours to write. You are the author of your book. What theme, background, and foreground do you want to paint this year? Pull out the paint as if you were a child again and create a future story. And you know what? You may work in a company that works with children, or maybe toys. I'm seeing Toy Factory maybe, or maybe cereal. I'm just seeing somebody that works with a variety of age groups, because you're able to tap into your inner child. And when you keep tapping into your inner child, it makes you more abundant. So pull out the paint again. Find ways to not only focus on one specific group, age or type. Find ways to include everybody in. Everyone can have fun doing this. Everyone can enjoy this. Maybe you make video games. Maybe you enjoy creating content not just for the adults, but you enjoy content for children as well. And so you open up your access to not just a select few. Take time to meditate and contemplate what vision you want to create. Hold standards for yourself. If you don't make a decision, that's the same as deciding that everything shall remain the same. I said that in another pile. And I thought that by the time that I got to the end, I thought maybe I said it at the beginning of this pile. I don't remember. You know what? I think I said it in pile 2, and I thought it was Francesca that was in their pile. So you may feel called to pile 2. Maybe. I'm not. You may not. That's okay if you're not. But if you don't make a decision, that's the same as deciding that everything shall remain the same. Write this down and hang it up. If you don't make a decision, that's the same as deciding that everything shall remain the same. And her advice for this year is to live intentionally. Today, be mindful of your routines and rituals, ones that are purposeful and ones that are unconscious, creating space to practice discipline in these areas. At bedtime each night, plan one small action for the next day. It is also good to practice to pause throughout your day and ask yourself, how can you live intentionally right now? And her self-care for you this year, and I love this, say to yourself, today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. By Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. I heard that his name is actually supposed to be called Dr. Seuss, but everybody's been calling him Dr. Seuss. You are you. Truer than true. And you should just want to be you, because that's what gives you more opportunities, my friend. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get your Scrabble letters and your charms put together, so just bear with me. All right, while I was getting your charms together, I felt my sugars drop, and I jumped up and I ran to the kitchen real quick. and now I'm laughing because after I finally pulled all the tiles out and I put them together how they were spelled out, I ran really fast to the kitchen to grab the peanut butter because I thought we had granola bars, and I was like, oh no. So like a child with peanut butter, and I came running back with my spoon and my peanut butter, and now it's sitting on my bed, and I thought, oh my God, maybe that's the kind of energy that you need to invite in, where you don't have a care in the world. All you are trying to do is take care of yourself in that moment. But let's go ahead and jump into your Scrabble. Hot, wide feet. Something is coming in hot and you need to widen your stance to catch it. Or you need to find body parts as appealing rather than repulsive. So if you are sensitive about your feet, don't hide your feet from wearing sandals. You should be able to relax and enjoy yourself just like everybody else. You don't need to have a manicure. You don't need to, if you want your feet to dip into the sand so you can feel warmth, go ahead, take your feet out. If you want to put your feet in the river, go ahead, take your feet out and put your feet in the river. Wide feet make you stable and more attractive because you are stable. And I'm also thinking of maybe you need to spice up your shoe collection or prepare for a really long hot walk. Check your wardrobe and weather throughout the year this year. I'm also hearing that as well. Have a wide collection. Maybe you have shoes that aren't good for rainy weather, or even you don't have enough sweaters. That's another thing I'm thinking of. Maybe when you move in together, you accidentally throw away things that you need. Or if you convince somebody to finally you decide to move back to their hometown, maybe y'all lived separately and you decided to go move back to this hometown, and you discover they have winters, whereas you may have not had a winter back where you lived, and now you're being encouraged to revamp your wardrobe. The other thing I'm thinking about when I see this is think of being playful. Hide 2 feet and play hide and seek to tap into your inner child, but don't forget to tuck your feet behind the curtain. And when you are looking for a home, when you are looking for something to establish your roots down into, that you have planned on, that you have goals about obtaining this year, try to imagine what playing hide and seek would look like in that home. How can you play in this home? Will it be able to give you the opportunity to bring all your passions and hobbies, or will you have to give up passions and hobbies? Maybe you have a boat, or you have a RV of some kind, or a camper, and really look at what the restrictions are in the area that you're going to live in. There are some neighborhoods that won't allow you to even have an RV or a boat in your yard. So play with the ideas, the things that you want to be able to keep. And the charms is, look at the companions that you have around you, the furry friends, and how can you bring them with you into this relationship, into this environment. And I encourage you, when you do, if you are not already in a relationship and you decide to jump into a relationship, make sure that they are aware that you have a little fur baby at home, if it does have fur, and how they feel about it. And or always just say, I have a family member at home that is going to stay in my life, and I cannot allow myself to get rid of them because someone is allergic to dog hair, cat hair, or has asthma attacks. That way you don't potentially put yourself in a position where you have to say no or go another way down the road with this person. And always look to make sure that you're allowed to have certain pet breeds in your home. We had an incident this year where the application said, yes, pets are allowed, dogs are allowed. And so signed the lease and everything went through, and then come to find out in the descriptions that, or the disclaimer, that the dog breed that we had was not allowed to be in our home because of having potential aggressive tendencies. And it wasn't just her breed. There was like a list of breeds. But if we had known that, we would not have even taken this opportunity to live here. So always look at the breeds. Look at the breeds, not just for the home, but the neighborhood around. So if you live in an HOA, or looking at a neighborhood that has an HOA, look and see if this is going to cause potential issues. And you're also being encouraged to find ways to connect to your significant other's pet if they have one, because the way you are with their pet is exactly how you would be like if someone had a child and you connect with a child. That's how you look in a good light. That's how they can see that relationship. Okay, this is a good fit for me and my fur baby. They're not going to be stressed out. And this person actually wants to take this person, or you actually will be going on a lot of walks with this. And so you're going to need to be willing to go into all sorts of different environments, because this dog, it doesn't matter if it's rain, if it's sunshine, if it's snowing, they want to go on a walk, and you have to be willing to go on that walk with them. And that's how you become even more playful, because animals are very playful. This Cluedo, board games, even more. Find ways to tap into that inner child. You are being encouraged to do that this year. If you haven't played a board game in a long time, reach out to friends and people, or if you don't have anyone that plays a game, see if there's like an event around you in your community where people still play board games or card games, and show up to them. And that's one way to find different relationships and different people that have similar passions like you do. And it's basically saying that your world is giving you clues about how to be more playful. And this ring over here is saying that there is the potential to have something that is very long lasting. And it's a promise that as long as you are compassionate with yourself and others, you will have that sustaining, lifelong friendship and relationship with others. And you could be, if you aren't sure if you are able to be in a committed relationship, maybe practice by creating a companion and seeing if you're going to be able to, like, if you don't know if you're going to be a good parent, having a companion will tell you if you're going to be able to meet their needs and your needs at the same time. So be playful, be more compassionate, and promise yourself with the things, because this one has one big jewel on it. The thing that is the most important to you right now is what you should be making a promise to. And this, I think it's supposed to be like a library of some kind, but it also makes me think of a gateway or a door, or even makes me think of Greece, Babylon, and just exploring the infinite knowledge that is around you that you can look at and grasp for yourself. And then this passport here is, make sure that before you move, before you travel, before, if you are trying to get a new job, or if you're moving or changing careers, to make sure all your documents are in one place, they're up to date before you start traveling. But I do think you're going to be hot, wide feet. You're going to be going wherever you're painting your world this year. And I see you going into all sorts of different environments that really call to you. And like whatever cup, you're willing to try anything this year. That's what I'm getting, is you're willing to play with anything that comes through. You're willing to pull a sword out of a stone and then do whatever you want with this sword. But you need to be playful while you're doing it, and make sure all your documents are together. You close everything off before you start something new. If you want to travel the world, I'm hearing, make sure your lease is actually done and over with, or that your career that you're working at, that you're ending on good terms, so you can explore the world and go wherever it is that you want to go. I'm also hearing honeymoon adventures. Planning now is very, very important, especially for the 3 months that I talked about for your pile. Like, that's plan now, so that way you can have that fun around those times, that honeymoon around those times. Then we have moon cycles, noticing when you have low states throughout the month and when you have high states, and not trying to flop the energies. And otherwise you'll end up I notice there's the greens coming out. So notice when you start to feel a little bit anxious, or when you start to feel a little bit green. Notice when your body is giving you these signs to step back and trust your intuition, when the timing is right, when you've gone in. Because if you are drinking from one cup that keeps making you throw up, and you're not changing your environment up, you're going to find yourself just like constantly stuck at home and unable to go where you want to go. And this makes me think of how people view you. People have a lot of respect for you because they see that you have an infinite library of knowledge, and you are able to bring something to the table that most people are not able to do, because you are respectful not just to the CEO, but you are respectful to those, even the animals, the animals that help people who have disabilities. You're respectful to them because they are working, and you see them as a worker, and you don't see them just as an animal. You are just respectful to everything around you. This pin, and these pins are pins that were from my last workplace. This one is, it was in a competition that my husband's coach created, and it's, so 2025, you're going to finish 100%. You're going to finish and lock that chapter down so you can start working on this year and go wherever it is that you want to go this year. And this is climbing Mount Everest. It's the layers you have to put on in order to get there. It's having a plan in place. It's knowing the environment where you are going before you go there. Because if you were to show up with the intention to climb Mount Everest and you didn't have the tools or the clothes or the knowledge or the people, you would be a frozen body on the bottom of this cliff, not even going anywhere. So whatever it is that you are working on, whatever career that you are aiming towards, research what it is that you need to be successful to overcome the obstacles that may arise for that career. And this one talks about meeting and acknowledging what your body's needs are. Speak up when you have too much going on. If you're closing yourself off from help, you are hurting yourself. So when you notice you have needs, go to your companion and release, let it out. And that's one thing that's great about having an animal is you can talk to them for hours and they look at you with so much love in your eyes, and they have no idea what it is you said. All they know is they love you. And finding that companion that allows you to do so, that doesn't make you feel so bottled up. All right, pile 3, that is your reading. I'm going to go ahead and get into the debriefing. You're more than welcome to stay for the debriefing, but that is just so that way people can jump into the description to determine if this is their pile that they want to jump into. So go ahead and give me a couple seconds and then I'll go ahead and keep talking. All right, pile 3, your debriefing for this year is going to be packed with what you prioritize and plan that make you feel good when closing chapters. You are encouraged to take time and reflect before making long-lasting moves to prevent delays or frustration to unfold. Make a list you can check off and be able to explain why number 1 on the chart is most important to finish. Before changing careers or departments, finish any project that needs to be tied up so you leave on a good note and recommendation. If your company is sponsoring a new exciting goal or change, whether it's equipment or a skill, you will be a candidate to help teach and motivate change. However, while details are being worked out, pause to keep yourself grounded, to stay focused to the present. And when planning a new move this year, see what needs to be sold or repurposed, what the neighborhood walk would feel like, what the school nearby accomplishes, and what pets are allowed or types of breeds. Your relationships can help you collaborate and work to make things go by faster and not leave anyone behind. Don't forget to share new numbers and addresses so you stay in contact with those who matter most to you. You decide how you want to change or remain the same this year, but don't feel pressure. Be more playful this year than you have in a long time and bring your inner child with you on this journey because you're going to many different places this year. Pile 3, that is your debriefing. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you want to see more content like this, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know someone that could benefit from this type of information, please share. Sharing is caring. And check in with me in December and let me know how this year unfolded for you, what you learned, how you re-navigated. And I hope that you find all the clues that you need to make the right choices this year and you are shining brightly to the group that you want to shine brightly to. But other than that, thank you, pile 3. I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to another pile now. Hi, pile 4. I just got done with pile 3. So welcome. And if you are coming from another pile, welcome again. Let's go ahead and look at your crystal icebreaker and affirmation for this year. And if you felt called to pile 3, that may be an indicator, if I can speak. All right. I need to breathe. All right. So let's go ahead and you've gotten 2 for this year. So let's go ahead and look at Onyx. Autonomy, self-discipline, command. Tune in to your inner commander. Onyx is a strong ally dispelling loneliness and self-doubt and instilling greater confidence in your decision making. Face your fears and know that you have the power to overcome them. Onyx's surface represents the passing of time, the balance of the yin and yang. It is a sturdy and solitary stone and encourages you to break free from any unhealthy relationships in order to be autonomous. Know that you are completely capable of making the right decisions for yourself. After all, it's your life. And I love this one because of all the colors. I love rainbows. I love the color purple, but I love rainbows a lot. So we have the Ethiopian opal, rebirth, portal, desire. Reflecting the beautiful parts of your soul, Ethiopian opal is a crystal filled with bright flashes of color and revitalizing energy. Full of joy, Ethiopian opal is a high vibrational stone, able to soothe the soul and bring harmony to mind, body, and spirit. Ethiopian opal can burn unhealed karma from the past and clear the path for a rebirth. Like a phoenix rising out of the ashes, containing a soul holograph, Ethiopian opal gives access to different timelines in your life, from the past, present, and future. Give all parts of yourself the love that you desire. And your affirmation for this year is, I am valuable. So this year, 2026, you will witness how valuable you are firsthand. You bring value to the table and will stand strong by creating the life you want with your own hands. Even if you are alone fighting with your doubt in your capabilities, by proving to yourself your worth is validating, you accomplish anything by facing what scares you or terrifies you from making a move. Unhealthy relationships that are toxic burn when you rise and take command and promote self-discipline when you are awake and even when you are resting. There will be much joy and peace when finding ways to soothe your mind and body. Clearing any blockages that don't hide in plain sight from the past will help a rebirth happen this year. Any form of love you have been looking for another to give will be replaced with you giving it to yourself. 2026 is your year to finally take control and manifest any type of outcome. And for the theme, and I don't want you to feel discouraged when you see the devil. And that may be why I said pile 3 into this, because their word for the year was, I am playful. But if you play too much, it can be at the expense of your health and your relationships and your ability to be successful in this life. And so with the devil, we have Capricorn at work, and that's the energy that you need to be in this year, where you are very resilient and you are very purposeful with what it is that you are working on. And the month that will be in the focus, and the only month it seems to be, is January. And the planet that goes around the devil card, you are probably the only one that really got the devil card as the main theme for the month. And this is talking about indulging healthy, indulge in healthy ways. January will be a great starting point to evaluate bad behaviors, unhealthy habits, and general poor choices that need to be changed for the greater good. Even if you find this reading at a different month or somewhere down the road, Treat each month like it is the beginning. Review how resolutions didn't fall through, or if there were conflicts with schedule and people who were around you that made it more difficult to accomplish things with them. They don't need to have a say in what you quit or how you go about making changes to add more value in your life. So people around you should not have a say in how to better your life. And I know I said that and that may not sound right. If it's for your highest good, you will take what it is they are saying and actually do something with it. But if these are toxic people and they're like, I don't know why you're doing that. That didn't work for me. Or they just want you to stay in this party mode. This goat is dancing. And they see that you've decided to get more serious, and you are starting to feel like they don't want anything to do with you unless you're partying all the time, or if you're in a certain state of mind, drinking in certain substances or taking in certain substances. And it's like that's the only time they want to be around you. But let me tell you something. If you were to leave these people and dance in another way, you would find a lot more people that would want to dance around you while you were sober. So they don't need to have a say in what you quit or how you go about making changes. You have always been free to make good choices, and it doesn't matter when or where you start. So even though January is a big focus, let January be that reflective point for you. Let each beginning of the month be a time to start something new. If something isn't working, just readjust or try something different. We are all responsible for how we act in the present. And it's important that when we are around temptations, how can we prevent ourselves from being in those type of situations? And I'm thinking of this is not specifically for just one person or how do I say this? If you are somebody that is going through drug court, or if you are somebody that is trying to get your life back on track after being in prison or being in an environment where the choices that were made before you led up to the choices that you made for yourself, and now you're being put on the right track, they will recommend you to cut off cords, cut off the connections you had with the people that put you in this state, and not go back to it, to completely cut them off and create a new environment. That way you limit the possibility of when you're in your weakest moment of turning back towards those substances or those actions that you did. But that was just for a select few. I'm also just thinking of somebody that just found themselves constantly making the wrong choice, and they didn't know that this was a cycle that they were putting themselves in, and they have the ability to break themselves, because this is a chain that's around the goat, but it's not attached to anything. He has the ability to dance out of this situation. So practice with a little bit more temperance this year so you can balance what it is you need to work towards. And the battle you wage war against this year is won by how compassionate and patient you are through the rises and falls of your actions. So you hear, judge not yourself, but seek to understand what chains you, and accept all parts and things you deem a flaw. If you thought that you being someone that goes out and enjoys life and loves to go and party and be around others and have celebrations, you just love celebrations, that shouldn't be something you see as a flaw, because celebrations bring people together. Celebrations allow people to come out of their comfort zones, and you like being in an environment where you can come out of your comfort zone. And that is something very beautiful. And you shouldn't need a substance in order to bring yourself out of your comfort state. you should be able to be yourself as you are. You can be chill and you can be what's the word? I'm thinking of, so I am somebody that it takes me a minute to open up. But when people get to know me, they see, oh my God, she's crazy. And this happened a lot with whenever I decided to start hanging outside of work with my coworkers. I was always serious at work and like I had my head in the job. And when they got to know me outside of work, they were like, that is not the same person. And they would even be like, it's like you're drunk. And I said, no, it's just when I let things go at the door, I can really be loose because I don't feel like I'm being watched. And you may feel like you have a devil on your shoulder and an angel on your shoulder, and it seems like the devil is kind of tempting you to do a little bit more this year. But the angel is telling you you are valuable and don't need to constantly be one aspect. You don't need to be one type of personality. You are allowed to express yourself in multiple ways. And self-improving energy is key to this year. You have to do the dance. You have to regret the dance. And then you have to face yourself before you can really make any change or progress. Even when you pick up what you put down, you are still worthy and valuable. So if you are trying to make healthy lifestyle choices or you're trying to manage your weight this year, yes, or even if you're trying to quit smoking, that's another thing. If you're trying to quit something that you deem is a bad habit, first acknowledge, why is it a bad habit? Why did you pick it up? Why do you need this change? How are you going to limit the people that are around you that may make you pick up this habit again? Or even how you yourself will make yourself pick up this habit? And how can you see that you are still worthy even when you have moments of weakness? So imagine you have chocolate in front of you. You're in a room full of chocolate and you told yourself, I'm going to cut back on the chocolate that I eat. Now that's the key phrase, I'm going to cut back. That doesn't mean I'm going to take chocolate completely away, because chocolate does have small benefits in small amounts for your brain especially. So cut back. I'm going to cut back. It doesn't mean you're going to take it completely off your plate, but if you act as if you're going to cold turkey cut, if that makes sense. Allow yourself to ingest a little bit so that way you don't have repercussions, withdrawals, if that makes sense. Quit for the right reasons. And I have I picked up the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I encourage y'all to read that this year because I feel like that's going to really help you. And I actually have the book, if I don't shake my table too much. If you don't mind, let me go ahead and show you. So this is Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones by James Clear. Tiny changes, remarkable results. I love this book, and I encourage you to pick up a journal and do like a chapter at a time and just really try to ingest what it is that you're taking in. And that's going to help you with this year. You're going to be like, this is not a bad card. This is a card about noticing what is before you and how you deal with it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into your relationships, and we're going to look at how this relationship theme will unfold. So we have the High Priestess, and she did show up reversed for this reading, but I'm going to keep her upright. I have this saying in my family, and this is why I say when you see something negative, don't let it deter you, or when you fall off on your path. Don't let that keep you from moving forward. My son in kindergarten had the hardest time adjusting because we had just went through a flood and he lost everything, his toys. We had to move a new environment, and it was just a very hectic time for him. So I used tarot, and I used the Unknown Wild Tarot deck with him, and we would do a card a day to help him work through his emotions. And he used to get so beat up when he would see a card in reverse and think that that was a negative thing, that he wasn't doing good. And I told him that when you're anxious and you see something that has a negative meaning, it doesn't always mean that it's a negative meaning. It just means you were working a little bit more harder on yourself. And that by knowing the reversal, you can actually do something about it. And by me talking about it, we can reverse it. And that's my go-to theme with tarot. So with the High Priestess being in reverse, and with this being the relationship focus for 2026, secrets, being disconnected from your intuition, withdrawal, and silence. And if you are disconnected from your intuition and you're keeping too many secrets, this is when that devil energy starts to come out and manifest and put its mark on you. Answers about those who surround you lie deep within. Sometimes our dreams will reveal hidden aspects our gut knew and was trying to tell us about people. Your soul needs to be connected first before trying to connect with anyone, especially if you are single, or if you are single, or if you're in a relationship but you feel single. Your mind isn't very trustworthy, especially when you have people around you that prevent that from being so. When finding a partner that deserves to have your light shine near them, where you can party and be around them and be carefree. If you have trouble being alone or in a quiet room, find ways to withdraw from a crowd so you can listen to your thoughts and intuition more clearly. Step away from the party. Step away from those that expect you to always be in that party mind state. And what are some secrets you share too willingly, or secret actions you hide that occur only at home or with others? So by these secret actions, and this is for a small selective few, if there is a devil at home that is preventing you from listening to your emotions, and they gaslight you, and they prevent you from feeling anything else, but they want you to always be this. They want you to always be lit and fire, and they just disregard how you feel completely. If you are in a relationship that needs work, or if you have been letting someone take charge and make all the decisions for you, or prevents you from trusting your instinctual feelings, figure out ways to ground and take command if you feel like secrets are being kept and communication blows up and out of control, especially out of nowhere. Withdraw to plan how to best deal with this individual, but don't give them or yourself excuses for their actions, lest they keep repeating. If you know who brings out the worst, bring out your best. If the people around you want you silent, give it to them by leaving silently. And I hate that may sound like I'm telling you need to leave your relationship, but that's not. This is only take what resonates. If you are in a relationship where they bring out the worst in you and they cause you to keep making the choices that you make, then there's this, maybe you want to be more playful. Maybe you want to be able and go out and be more free. And when someone takes that choice from you, it can be very conflicting in the relationship. And this year, you're being asked to let go of those that would put you in a position to only show your worst self, or in a position where you deny yourself the right to feel a certain way, and to develop good choices around those people, to surround yourself with good people, because your body will tell you what it is that you need to hear before you, and you will pick up on these things. And you may have this, and this is where I'm going back to the secrets. If someone around you is keeping secrets from you and they're sneaking off, and you know that the situation is not right, and they keep side dancing the issue, then you're being asked to, if they won't explain or prove or do what it is that they say they are doing, then you need to see that you are more valuable and you don't need to be in this situation. If they are making you question your worth, if they are denying you your worth, if they are telling you you are not worthy to be around, that's a sign that you need to exit. But if you are in a relationship this year, y'all are going to be making more healthy choices, and actually listen to your feelings, each other's feelings, and develop a sense of where you see the value in each other, and it's not one-sided. Because you'll have a group of friends, and if you have a group of friends and they're like, I don't know why you're with that person, because they have some backstory, or if this person's hanging around their exes, that's a problem. The only time you should ever hear anybody being any somewhat near their ex, and this is just for me, is if they have children and they have to be able to communicate with that significant other because of their child. That is the only example. But allow yourself to really listen to what it is your body is telling you, and how these actions are actually making you feeling. You may be closing yourself off to those feelings, and you're blocking them. And by blocking them, the cycle doesn't end. It just keeps coming. But I digress. Let's go ahead and look into the career for this year and what the theme is around it. So we have the Hermit, and the Hermit was in reverse. And this is somebody, and this is, if you are a night owl, this is what I'm picking up on, because we have the High Priestess. She's all about her intuition and thinking of the moon and subconscious. Then we have the Devil here, who's like this night partier, this person that dances in the night. And then we have the Hermit withdrawn. So at work, you may feel more distant and secluded and question whether your job is worth keeping or in alignment with your purpose. This Hermit encourages you to pick a path that is revealed by the lantern you hold. Is it the people, the schedule, the pay, or are you being drawn to another path? If you catch yourself operating like a robot in autopilot mode, quickly turn the light on before you drift off course. If you are too lost in thought or can't think at all, put your feet on the ground and breathe in fresh air. A change of scenery will be recommended if you work from home especially, or have felt like doing something different. If you know what skills you have that are valuable, start using them, especially if you have a degree for them, or if you've already done the work in order to obtain the role. If you can't at work if you can't use your skills that you developed and got a degree for at the current place you're working at, find a side hustle till it becomes more permanent. I'm not saying quit your job. What I'm saying is you may have to, okay, now I'm getting this. I'm getting somebody that is doing a lot of work, you're trying to be this thing that everyone wants to see, and you're cutting yourself off from your own intuition, and it's burning the fuel around you. And if you have a lot of expectations for yourself at work, and now you're losing your, like, if you're not happy at work and it's no longer lighting you up, why is that so? You need to really ask yourself that. And this side hustle that I was previously talking about is the skill that you actually enjoy doing. But if you do enjoy your workplace but felt like a hermit living in a cave while also living like a hermit at home, find ways to form a healthy connection with others who are the atmosphere, but not the lamp you set yourself on fire with. Because it seems like you are putting yourself with people that really test the waters with you. If you are a night owl working on a morning shift, find ways to create a routine so you have more energy and can think more clearly. If you work crazy hours that burn your fuel, find ways to say no and not feel guilty when doing so. Otherwise, you'll sleep the year away and feel like crud doing so. And that's what I'm thinking this year is you are picking up a lot more than you should be picking up. And by you picking up everybody else's slack or burden or hey, I need someone to take over this hosting for this event, and you're the one that's hosting every single event, every single party, and you're starting to feel burnt out for it. And you just want to go in and retreat. And this year you want to retreat. You want to start listening to your intuition with the people that are around you so you can make more effective choices, because right now you've been dancing the music that someone puts on is what they're making you dance to, and you're being asked to create the music that you want around you instead. And you have 2 guides this year that are going to be working with you on your purpose. And I love Akasha. She's one of the first tarot cards that I got this is my first tarot deck that I got in 2011. And her and Ariel are one of the first teachers I ever received. And Akasha says, you are a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life mission. And Caressa says, you are at the end of a life or a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. And if you notice, she is lit up and she has this purple aura around her, which is very rainbow, just like the Ethiopian opal. And Caressa has this where she's needing to go within and close a chapter in her life, and it's this dark energy that is around her. Whether you believe it or not, you have the ability to help others awaken to their gifts and divine life purpose. By ending the cycle you placed yourself in, you can start to take a step towards happiness where you feel worthy and in control, because you may not feel like you're in control of this situation. You may not know how many people you've actually gave guidance, advice, or messages that helped, but you did. You know how to say the right words, how to give comfort, because you know how much it does for you and it inspires others. This guide is showing you more people this year that will be helped by your essence if you connect with yourself more truly and look up from where you look down. Writing, speaking, giving workshops on skills you have, or even counseling will bring you more purposeful energy. You may feel called to help random strangers out and about, at school or at work, but you are qualified, my dear. You are more than qualified. It doesn't matter what you have done in your past. What matters is who you are in the present and who you are aiming to achieve or change to be. Your past actions do not need to dictate how good of a person you are, because you are valuable. This was accomplished by ending a cycle. You can actually feel and express yourself more clearly than ever before, especially with these guides. You don't have to pretend or operate to someone else's standards. You will feel encouraged to finish what you start and limit procrastination spells. You actually want to take better care of yourself this year. And these guides, because I have to flip this page because the guides had a lot of information. These guides want you to watch out for self-destructive tendencies that arise from misguided guilt. If you need a hug at any time, imagine these guides holding you. And imagine that if you're going through a really bad spell or a bad cycle this year, I want you to imagine me coming through and saying, hey, I know you're valuable. I know you're a teacher. And I know you've helped people without you even knowing that you were helping people. And I just want you to know, like, you are very loved. You really are. And just imagine Carissa. She is caressing you. She's taking care of you. And their advice is to pull yourself close. Our inner being longs for us to reside as one. It is now time to pull close all the places inside of us that we wish were not there. Imagine embracing yourself in acceptance, the good parts, the bad parts, the missing places, and the broken pieces, knowing that every place inside of you is worthy of the greatest love. And you're not a devil. You can be a devil if you want to be, but that's not who you are. You are a multitude of different aspects. You have gained a lot of information over the years, and you're able to mold to any type of environment and bring the life to the party. You are somebody that brings life to a party. That's what I'm getting from here. But that's not all who you are. And they have 2 self-care advices. Chin to chest and stretch the back of your neck. So if you're somebody that has been avoiding stretching, or when you feel yourself get really tense, allow yourself, when you do peek up and look over, like if you work at a desk job, give yourself a chance to like really stretch yourself, so that way you don't feel worn down. Get up and walk around for a bit. Go on a stroll like the hermit would do. When you leave your cave or your cubicle, or if you work at home, leaving your home, and just allow yourself to really allow your body to move. And then the second one is whisper to yourself, I am amazing. When someone says that you're not, you are amazing. Always tell yourself these good affirmations. You are valuable and you are amazing. And allow yourself to be patient with yourself. Like, more than anything, you just need to be patient with the process this year. Patient with work, patient with the people around you, and to be able to not just show up as one thing, be able to show up as all of the things you want to show up as. So I'm going to go ahead and get your charms and Scrabble on the board. So just bear with me. All right. So here's your Scrabble and your charms all spread out. So we have doze in real life. If you are starting to doze in real life, connect back again. Life is the real game you should be playing. Don't hide in your abode in mind games or actual distractions, and start leaving your house more. Create a simulation where you start out with just the basic things and level up one level at a time. When you beat a boss, or when the level becomes too easy, advance forward to the next challenge. Give yourself achievements and times to rest. Make a game out of anything, including dishes, laundry, or work assignments. Who are you playing against? That's you, of course. You are playing against yourself. Your charms. So this is a magic dice for Magic the Gathering, and it landed on number 7 whenever I pulled it out of the charms. Reflect now or take damage over time. Reflect now or you end up taking damage. Reflect on your life this year that you want, or how the previous year before you, all the other Januaries before you, and how those previous years worked. Reflect now so you don't have to take damage. This Art Deco pen is finding ways to dress and express yourself how you want to appear, wearing what you want right now. Whether it means putting on armor in real life and going to a jousting or Renaissance fair. If you want to feel like a knight, you can do that today. You don't have to just imagine it. You can actually go to those events. And this is a hairpin. And I don't know how it ended up in my charm basket, but it did, and it ended up in here. So hairpins, these are to put your hair back, to allow yourself to get more serious. So that way you can prove to those how valuable you actually are when you start to be serious about the things you work on. And this could also mean if something doesn't work out the first time, allow yourself to put a pin in the situation and come back to it when you have a fresher perspective. Then we have the Leos, and you got 2 Leo types of energy, and that's a great sign to have. Walk as if you have lions walking next to you. Walk with confidence and pride with pure, raw authenticity. And then over here we have this owl, and I placed her over here by the High Priestess. This is encouraging you to be the wisest of all of them, and to be wise about the things that you are placing yourself in, the situations and the environment you are around, so you may learn and grow from them. And then we have a rose, and roses, I always take them as having healthy boundaries while being this beautiful rose. But if anyone were to try to pull you from your situation or try to put you back in this scenario, you will be able to defend yourself accordingly. And then we have this tree heart, and there is a crystal in there, and this is saying that you have this raw gem that is within you, and regardless of how your tree or your family or how you grew up brought you to be, you have the ability to flourish and grow something more sustainable that is more compassionate and empathetic. And this bell, and I did have 4 rings right here. So anything that makes you feel like you want to celebrate, think of the 4 of Wands, where you celebrate your successes and you have that dream, or, you know, when the bells are ringing, they're actually ringing, and you have something actually worth to dance and celebrate about. And I'm going to go ahead and look at these rings. So this ring reminds me of Wonder Woman, somebody that steps in their divine feminine energy, that is this person that has this shield that they're able to throw and thwart, and she's able to take her cuffs and deflect any kind of damage that comes in front of her, because she sees her worth. And you are being encouraged to be like that. See your worth. And then this one is, it's a promise that is not that isn't standing. So notice what promises keep falling through the cracks that people keep placing on you, because that'll tell you who it is around you shouldn't be around if they can't mean what it is that they're saying. And this one says, when you start to put yourself first and you develop those healthy boundaries, you will be able to accept something that is more promising than you thought before, that isn't just this devil energy. You actually get this energy from somebody that is willing to work on themselves, just like you were willing to work on yourself. And this is a ring with a little heart. And I like using the analogy of the Grinch, or someone that thinks that their heart is this big, but your heart is actually way bigger than what you think it is. And you are more valuable than what people have been telling you, a lot more valuable. And this dollar over here is saying that you, by going within, you are going to be much more prosperous, and you're going to be able to take advantage of opportunities that will be more fruitful and provide more sustainable solutions for you to earn from. You're going to get a lot more money by doing so. And the Hermit, when I place this over there, is telling you to pick a direction and go in it, and constantly remind yourself when you start to go off course, or you start to notice that the direction goes in a different way, to not beat yourself up over it. Sometimes you have to go around an obstacle before you can return back to it and go through it. Find your true north. If the river flows, then you know that is where you need to be. And because you are taking much more command this year, you are not going to let anyone deny or control or prevent you from working on your own endeavors. And this bat is telling you to only take what echoes back. And whatever it is that you're putting out into the universe, remember, it will be received. But that also goes for devil type energy. If you manifest the devil type energy in a negative way, that is the kind of life you're going to receive. And you cannot blanket or cover or reject it. You have to see the cycles that are unfolding before you. And only then will you be able to start to see what was meant to be received back to you. All right, let me go ahead and get the debriefing ready, so that way if someone wasn't certain if this pile was for them, they'd be able to get the debriefer and determine if they need to listen to the pile. You are more than welcome to stay for it, or you are welcome to go off on another journey. All right, pile 4, you're debriefing. This year, you're saying no and taking back control. You are choosing what makes you feel good and getting rid of what doesn't. At first, before you hid and created the life you wanted in your mind with fantasies or distractions, knowing this was keeping you chained and allowed for your ability to make decisions be taken from you. A fire began to burn, and a rebirth is calling. No more shame and guilt. No more exhausting yourself at the expense of your health. No more overthinking or underthinking. You will trust the process that unfolds this year and explore paths that you light one step at a time without avoiding confrontation. You are helping and inspiring others to do the same by working towards your purpose in life. You feel more valuable when you believe you do have something to offer in this world. You may have to go dark before you can shine, but what you echo, it will be received back tenfold. And that is the debriefing. And I encourage you to listen to the rest of this if you were called to this pile. But thank you, pile 4, for listening and watching. If you feel called to another pile, head on over. Or if you're ready to go, I wish you a lot of luck on this journey this year. And if you want to see more content, like, comment, subscribe, and share if you know someone that could benefit from this type of information. And please check back in December or regularly let me know how your journey goes. And I want you to receive so much peace and love and to be able to express yourself more authentically this year, where you feel like you are able to step out into the light and be someone that is courageous and able to take back their life. But other than that, thank you, pile 4. I'm going to go ahead and head on over. Thank you.